Another beautiful day by the Pacific. We are at Aviara Golf Club in Carlsbad, California. This is the final round of the JTBC Classic presented by Barbasol. It was a three-shot lead for Denmark's Nana Kurtz Madsen when this final round began, and it remains three despite big moves from Charlie Hull and many others. Nana is 2 under through 7 and bogey-free so far. Welcome, Grant Boone, Morgan Pressel, Tom Abbott calling the odd-numbered holes on the course. Jerry Foltz and Karen Supples and Amy Rogers will have interviews when players finish up. We go to the 9th and say hi to Tom.
This is Charlie Hull with her third. Mistake from Charlie with the second. And that's going to be up on that little tier. Good shot there from Charlie Hull. So that'll be a fourth. And she will go out in 4 under par, chasing Nana Kurtz Madsen, fellow Solheim Cup team member for Europe. And we'll go back over to number 8.
And this was the site, Jerry, of some chaos yesterday with Nana Kurtz Madsen and Hedge and Choi both making double bogey. But it is Madsen leading by 3.
Yeah, Jari and Karn waited for the green to clear. Only 200 front edge she had, and decided that they didn't like the way the wind was blowing, and a last-minute decision to lay it up. Madsen, however, has an iron in her hands. It's not to lay up.
Morgan, this is where things really got interesting yesterday, but Nana righted the ship, took the lead into this final round.
Yeah, this was, we thought might be a turning point for her in the day yesterday, Jerry, but she was able to rebound incredibly well. All that work she's been doing on her mental game. You know that thought, you know that swing from yesterday is in the back of her mind, but a very different shot here.
Well, she was in the middle of the fairway back at the 7th hole, only 140 yards in, and missed her target by some 45 yards. So that's hard to forget at this point, especially when there's nothing but trouble around this green.
Right at that TV tower.
Solidly struck left edge of the green.
That's going to leave a very that's really thick rough, and she's going to chip all the way across the green. That's going to leave a very difficult third shot there.
One of the talented rookies in 2022, the 19-year-old Attaya Thitikul, to throw her name into the mix for Eagle. A couple of times she has contended in LPGA events while she was a non-member, including last year in her homeland of Thailand, when Arya Jatanagarn emerged victorious. To the 9th.
Jin Young Ko on the tee, and Karen Stupples is following this group.
Well, she definitely trying to go out and grab this one. Went for the last green in 2, but just came up a bit short in the water, but still got up and down to save her par. So floating away here.
Whoa. That went a little too far left.
It might sit down and be okay.
We're so used to seeing about 0 curve on her ball. 61 feet of curve is just unheard of for Jin Young Ko.
When was the last time Dave Brooker threw up his left arm? Her caddy.
Yeah, it's going to be fine though, just on the left side of that fairway, and we'll go back over to 8.
And it's the third here, the par 5 for Na Rin An.
A little bit of a downhill line, a little bit into the breeze, only a 100-yard shot, but that is a tiny little target if you're trying to get it close.
It's not a hole location they've used very often in the past here, Jerry.
No, I'm not sure they use it for recreation play either. It's so tough. I mean, you have to be so disciplined here, because 100 yards, every professional golfer feels like they can throw it at anything. You're a little off, and you're going to struggle to make par.
Just try to use that little bit of slope from left to right.
That's what she's trying. Needs to spin a bit.
Gets stuck up on top. That'll be a quick putt down the hill.
Ahead to the par 5 10th and the birdie putt for Attaya Thitikul. Count her out. 3 birdies in her last 4 holes, and JTBC Sports and the LPGA Tour proudly present the season-long race to the CME Globe. From Carlsbad, California, it's live final round coverage of the JTBC Classic presented by Barbasol. It is one of the prettiest places on tour, just a few minutes away from the waves crashing from the Pacific. South Carlsbad State Beach. Attaya Golf Club opened back in 1991, an Arnold Palmer design. Since 2013, it has been hosting the world's best in women's golf, and from around SoCal, they're coming to watch as world number 1, Jin Young Ko, gives chase, and the most recent winner on the LPGA Tour tries to go back-to-back. Denmark's Nana Kurtz Madsen gave her country its first ever LPGA Tour title a couple of weeks ago in Thailand, and now she's trying to win here on the coast in California. Anything can happen. Grant Boone, Morgan Pressel, Tom Abbott, Jerry Foltz, and Karen Stupples are out on the course. Amy Rogers has interviews for us. Our final group, including the Dane, Madsen. She has her third shot at the par 5/8, up by 3, and Jerry Foltz is following along.
And just like Morgan said, this is not easy. Found a very healthy patch of this thick, lush Bermuda. Has to go up and over the crown of the green. It's going to move it right as it goes uphill. And then as it gets on the far side of that, it gets quick. She catches a little jumper here. It's going to run all the way across the green. It didn't jump.
Jerry, what a fantastic shot that was.
Out of such an unpredictable lie, that is phenomenal.
This is a hole where she made double bogey and actually fell behind in the tournament yesterday. A chance to get a bit of revenge as we go to the 9th and say hi to Tom.
Yeah, yesterday the tee was moved up at the 9th. It's back on its normal length today. So playing as a 2-shot hole. Jin Young Ko's second.
113 to the flag, plays down about 7 yards.
Is that going to creep on? Oh no, Karen, it's short. The flag is cut on a shelf at the front of the green today. And let's go to the 11th. And Attaya Thitikul, the very impressive rookie on the LPGA Tour, although she's had plenty of experience on the Ladies European Tour and over in her home continent of Asia. That is a good shot there at 11, so she's got a chance for another birdie on a good run right now as the Thai player. Let's go back to 8.
Her fellow Thai native, Nana Rukarn, has a 4th at the 8th, Jerry.
Yeah, made a late decision to lay up from just 200 yards front, and then from 81 yards, gunned it right past that tiny little target. So now struggling to stay parked, downhill lie, in the rough. Need a lot of club head speed to get any kind of contact on it. It's too short a shot to get that, so she's opening the blade wide open.
Jerry mentioned she's opened the face wide open, trying to get as much spin as she can out of that lie. It was very well done. Leave herself with an uphill putt to save par.
It's a nice story this week. Lilia Vu putting herself in contention, Karen. This is her second at 9.
They hit a lovely tee shot, and that was really well struck there from 92 yards.
24-year-old who went to UCLA. She's from California and says, you know what, she just loves living in this state, loves playing golf here, and it is showing. And look at that on the leaderboard, tied for 4th, the highest American right now at the JTBC Classic.
The other member of the final group with Madsen and Nana Rukarn is the medalist from last year's Q Series, the LPGA Tour, Na Rin An, the 26-year-old from Korea. She has this birdie.
This downhiller, and it's a little bit of a confusing read on this side of the green. When you walk up to the screen, everything looks like it's back to front in terms of break, but it's not. This one could end up dying a little left.
putting stroke you like, isn't it?
Yeah, I love her putting stroke, but Jerry called that there. Just, it's a tough read. Everything breaks a little bit towards the lagoon, which is well behind the 8th green, even though it looks like it sits facing the fairway.
Move over to the 10th, and Northern Ireland's Stephanie Meadow played collegiately at Alabama. It's a player who has fought hard to keep her card the last couple of seasons. Finished 100th, got the final spot. The priority list for this year. Trying to get it done a little earlier this year. This is Madsen, the 27-year-old from Denmark. Played 1 season at University of South Carolina. She's got this to push her lead to 4.
A little bit of a tricky read as well. Might be turning just a hair left. Nicky indicating where he thinks it's going. Nicky Hansen, who's caddy and more. Nonetheless, Morgan, you mentioned it a year ago. She said she probably wouldn't have come back from the bogey double at 7 and 8 yesterday. Would have been too hard on herself. She's a new person now. She feels like that was ugly.
Yeah, that was a very tentative stroke. But no, you're right, Jerry. I mean, the poise she showed yesterday, fighting back from the struggles on 7 and 8 to lead the tournament after 3 rounds was very impressive.
She came back to bogey 9 and 10. Her lead was 3 when the round started. It was a crazy round 3. An explosive round 4 is underway.
Back at the 9th, and Lilia Vu has a chance for a birdie here, Karen.
It's a little bit downhill from the front of this green to that hole. Putting on a nice little round today so far, Tom.
Oh, that would have been another birdie for her to take it a 4 under for the day. It's the player who was the #1 ranked amateur before she turned pro, Lilia Vu. Speaking of a player that's done a lot as an amateur, including went twice on the Ladies European Tour, Attaya Thitikul for birdie. Steady. A little bit of work left to save her par. She's 4 under for the day with 5 birdies so far and 1 bogey. And we'll go back up to the tee at the 9th and check in with Na Rin An.
So many players choose to lay back a little bit here so they have the widest part of the fairway to hit it at. She is an aggressive player by nature. Still tough to get yourself to hit it far enough left, and she has done that nicely. You always want to cheat the right side here, and that rough on the right is nasty.
That breeze right to left there.
Can't really feel much right now.
It seems like with the ball flight of Jin Young Ko and that one with Na Rin An, as soon as it got up into the wind, it moved right to left. This is Jin Young Ko for a par at 9.
Aggressive with the chip, Tom, but has a chance to make up for it with a good putt here. Looks good.
Still not the Jin Young Ko that we have seen of late. Just level par for the day. Back up to the tee, and Madsen on the tee.
She's looking over at that left corner with the fairway wood. Tons of power in this swing, and of course it hasn't typically, traditionally, favored long hitters.
Not too much there. It's going to run into the rough.
Well, for all the talk of great swings and technique, I'm thinking about confidence, Morgan, here as we watch Nana Kurtz-Madsen try to win back-to-back on the LPGA Tour, make consecutive starts, her first 2 LPGA victories. We've got a couple of players in our final couple of groups who almost quit golf because they were so despondent over how they were playing. And here's Nana Kurtz-Madsen, who last summer made double bogey, tied for the lead on the last hole of the AIG Women's Open. What did she say after that? My goal was to put myself in that position again. She did that 2 weeks ago in Thailand and won, and here she is again.
Yeah, she's talked this week about getting the monkey off her back, feeling comfortable out here. I know she spoke with her sports psychologist this morning, Kim Boye, and he said, you belong here no matter what happens. Smile, enjoy the day. And I think she really is embracing that feeling, believing that she is here, she's capable of winning, and she's capable of winning multiple times. She definitely has the talent, and for her, it's all been about a switch in the mindset. And I was very impressed with what I saw yesterday, the way she rebounded from the 7th and 8th holes to birdie the next 2 holes and continue playing great, realizing, hey, it was just a couple bad swings. I know that I have plenty of time to come back, and getting off to another hot start again today. She's putting on quite the show so far here this week.
How about the chasers? Charlie Hall is just 3 shots back. Is it too late for Jin Young Ko. I mean, the last time she played, her only event this year, she birdied 5 of her last 6 holes to win it by a couple.
Well, from what we've seen over the last couple days, anything can happen around here at Aviara. There is trouble to be found on nearly every hole. There are certainly birdies to be made as well. So, too far back, you never say never with Jin Young Ko, but you know the Chasers have nothing to lose right now, so they can play a little bit more aggressively and more freely.
This is Charlie Hull at 10th, tied for 2nd. Charlie won an LPGA Tour title. It was a big one. Sandy Group Tour Championship in 2016. 9.
Amelia Vu for par. But she came out on the tour in 2019, her rookie season, and made back on the 9th hole for Jariana Narukan. You can see her name at the bottom there, 12 under par. 2nd at the 9th.
Some call him Charlie, some call him Chuck. Jerry calls him Charles with no S in her Thai accent. Going with pitching wedge here, 126 yards. A little baby pitching wedge. Hit a little fade up into that right to left, which should spin nicely.
Oh, watch out.
Or maybe not.
Took a little bit too much off of it there, Jerry. It's the tendency sometimes when you try to take something off of it and end up with a little bit too much, more than you'd like.
Now Madsen's missed the fairway on the left. It doesn't make it easy with the flag on the front, Jerry.
No, front left. There's no angle here.
How's the lie, Jerry? Looks like a little bit dry.
It's very clean and it's lying down green. Yeah, it's very wispy in this area. Lucky. This area has a lot of traffic. So I think right now she can't afford to go straight to the flagstick. It'll never stop and end up on the back of the green at best. 15, 20 feet right of the hole. That front right corner would be fine. If it releases, you're just in the center of the green. Or you go right out and try and spin it.
Oh, she did spin it. I think it might drift down that hill, though. Well, for a little more insight on Nana Kurtz-Madsen, let's bring in Amy Rogers.
Thanks, Tom. Well, early in Nana Kurtz-Madsen's career, she struggled to manage her emotions on the golf course. And when she got upset, she would suck on lemon slices. She said the taste would take her mind off anything else she was feeling. But after work with her mental coach back home in Denmark, Kurtz-Madsen says she's learned to handle her feelings without the lemons. Now, when things go awry on the golf course, she simply tells herself it doesn't help her to get angry. Instead, she focuses on the next shot and tries to make a birdie to get her game back on track. And this valuable lesson served her well on Saturday as she bounced back from a double bogey stretch to retake the lead.
Thank you, Amy. Good shot there by Naren Ahn, but it's not going to stay up on that front shelf.
It's just such a tiny shelf over there, Tom. It's only about 8 yards wide.
Yeah, coming out of the rough makes it so difficult. Shows you how good that shot was from Lilia Vu that we saw in the group ahead. Now time for some insights by KPMG, and we'll take a look at this final group. And you can see the experience really is weighted for Nana Kurtz-Madsen. Jariana Narukan also has a victory. She won in Northern Ireland. Kurtz-Madsen won the last event in Thailand. Naren Ahn is a rookie on the LPGA Tour. I think those world rankings might be changing after this week. Let's go to 10.
And a big chance here for Charlie Hull to get within 1. Tap in birdie for Charlie. To 12. Tricky par 4. It's where we find Attaya Thitikul.
tricky hole, Grant, and the hole location in the most challenging spot today on the very left side of the green, just over those bunkers. And that's what we'll see from these final groups. There's a little bit of a downslope short of the hole location that'll ricochet the ball. It was a good shot. It just took a huge bounce off the downslope.
Let's go to the 11th, and this is Stephanie Meadow. It's a major championship next week, the Chevron Championship, and there is a last-minute qualification for players to get in. They'll take 15 players from the CME points list, as long as they're inside the top 80. And Stephanie Meadow has moved from 108 to 52nd. And that's just going to wander right. It should go left on that green. Over at the 9th, Jariana Narukan has a pretty lengthy putt here for birdie.
Yes, she does, from that lower level up to that tiny little top shelf. Pretty slow putt in general. We'll be moving toward the back of the green late. And never had enough.
Crowd out there today, and beautiful weather all week here. Tomorrow they're going to get a storm that is going to blow in across Southern California. I think it's going to hit right in the middle of the state as well, so quite a lot of rain forecasted over the next 24 hours. The timing, the LPGA has been spot on, which isn't always the case, is it? Sometimes we get a little bit unlucky. Looks like we've been lucky this week with the weather.
Yeah, the drought buster reputation is not in effect this week.
It may even rain over in the desert tomorrow.
That's impossible.
It's incredible. They've got about a 50% chance when I looked on the forecast this morning.
Flash with one morning. All right, almost the identical putt here for Nana Kurtz-Madsen. Probably got a little teach on the speed, how quickly it died trying to ascend that slope. So see if you can dial it in a little better. The poise, though, Morgan, boy, you mentioned, I think we're going to keep talking about it the rest of the day as she keeps playing like this. It is admirable, and it's such a huge change.
And, you know, we talk about the way that she's been able to rebound, and mentally, but what also is impressive, Jerry, is her putting. She's led the field in putting all week, and these greens are very, very tricky.
We just don't want those time in and time out, though, 3-4 footers afternoon.
To 12, Thitikul for birdie.
A little bit back up the hill, should break pretty good right to left here.
Did she do it? Wow!
Did I say this was a tricky hole location?
She led the Ladies European Tour in birdies last season en route to Player of the Year honor. She was born in 2003. She's tied for second here. To the 9th.
And coming back up the hill, it's a better look from here.
Yeah, much better look. Shorter putt and a much straighter putt. Very little break in this one. It's just a question if she can get the speed, get it to the hole. It's as slow as the other two putts were. Ooh, gave it a good, healthy wrap.
That moves her to 14 under par, inching closer to the Dane, Nana Kurtz-Madsen, at the top of the leaderboard. And we could be in for a pretty good back nine here. A lot of players still have a chance, depending on what Kurtz-Madsen does.
All right, Charlie Hull called it a tap in. Never take anything for granted in the afternoon on these Polana greens, but Charlie powers it in, and she joins Naren on. To back of Kurtz-Madsen, who's at the 9th.
Yeah, still has this one for par.
She's been really solid on him from everything we've seen all week, helping those putting stats that Morgan mentioned.
Military salute hole, the 9th. We have Marines from various units based at Camp Pendleton. We've been tending the flag all week at the 9th. Camp Pendleton's just a few miles north of here. Big base for the United States Marines Corps. Yeah, no problem at all. And we thank all the Marines for coming out and supporting the players at the 9th, and we thank them for their incredible service. Well, if you're not watching the golf, it's not a bad spot to be down on the beach, enjoying the water.
Final group is making the turn, and Nana Kurtz-Madsen, she's spent a lot of time atop leaderboards the last couple of weeks.
With the fairway wood on, already hit a driver right through the fairway. Oh, this is not good. Thin, low left.
Oh, wow, that's wet. There it is, the ripple. Well, how far back does she have to be?
Not too far. There's a little peninsula just shy of that where she'll be able to drop it.
11. Wow, it's getting interesting now. Let's go to the tee with Charlie Hull. See if she can get it all the way back to that flag. Just needs to climb up that ridge, and she will have a chance for birdie. Let's go back one to the 10th.
Up by the green, it's world number 1, Jin Young Ko, and Karen, this is for birdie.
It is. Her second shot was just short of the green, but the pitch really got away from her. There's a downslope that it landed on and just ricocheted to this point. Downwind didn't help get any grab on the ball at all, so having to work really hard here for a birdie, and that's got to go.
It's kind of the story of what we've seen Jin Young the last couple of days, Karen, just working a lot harder than we were used to seeing. She's used to making the game look so easy.
I agree. I think she's thinking about that beach a little too much.
You're thinking about next week as well, a touch. But she'll be a returning champion. Jin Young had the first round lead at 7 under. Now 6 shots behind it. Here's Quebec, Canada's Modemy LeBlanc, a big hitter whose putter got hot last year on the Epson Tour. This is for Eagle to join the group, tied for 2nd.
Well, you talk about big hitter, Grant. She hit 5 foot off the tee, 4 iron into the screen.
Wow.
So that gives you an idea of what this player is capable of. Jerry said it yesterday that she's only had 2 top 10s in her LPGA career, and she doesn't hit the ball like that's the case.
She's always been able to hit it long, but she hasn't been able to putt it until last year like she has. 3rd on the Epson Tour, the developmental tour, in putts per green in regulation, and she is in contention. 11.
This is Charlie Hull for a birdie. Kurtz-Madsen in trouble. Charlie could well be, say if that had gone in, tied for the lead potentially. Finish that. So this is where Kurtz-Madsen ended up. She's going to have to drop it shy there of where she's standing. But a poor tee shot and trouble for the Dane.
You guys okay here? Hit those.
It was a 3-shot lead for Nana Kurtz-Madsen. The round began 2 at the moment, but she has tugged her tee shot at the par 5 10th into the water. There's the little peninsula that Jerry mentioned, and so a drop here for Nana and a 3rd shot.
Taking a long time to take this drop. It's going to be on a downslope. She does eventually hit. It's in play. It's kind of baked out, a little bit of a hard end type lie, slight downslope. So, and no chance of getting there in 2. I would hope and think this would be less than a 3 wood. Especially after hitting the thin one off the tee with that same club.
Be interesting to see how she rebounds to play this hole, Jerry. Mentally recommitting to this shot, putting herself in the best position. Looks like she's going down a club here, as you called it.
And the target she's aiming at now is not huge. That fairway about where this ball's going to land is the narrowest part.
Target's right about at that TV tower, Jerry.
Yep, exactly. If she pulls it off, then she's going to have just some sort of little wedge in and a good chance to get it close and safe par. And she has to do a good one here. Sand, that's actually not terrible where that's at.
That'll be a fourth shot on the par 5 coming up. Among those most closely pursuing, it's Na Rin An here with her second shot.
Stayed just a couple inches shy on the line of the tee shot going into the forced layup rough, so a chance to scare that front edge of the green from here. 233 away to that front edge. Breeze helping from the left. It's not going to get there. That's going to catch fairway, though, and really good shape right there.
With the divots. Good shape. And on to the 11th we go.
And Moremi LeBlanc.
This one is downwind, slightly off the left. This is a 7 iron. That was a really smooth swing there.
Too smooth, Karen.
Yeah.
Go to the 13th, par 4, dogleg from right to left. The second shot plays straight uphill. Flag today cut on the front right of the green. So it brings the bunker short into play if they try and get it close. That's a pretty good shot there. How about that?
Stephanie Meadow for birdie at the 12th. Stay at 11 under. The lead belongs to Nana Kurtz-Madsen. Nana is scrambling at the par 5 10th. Her lead. The most iconic celebration in women's golf will happen one more time. Who will be the last to make the leap into Poppy's Pond? It's the first major of the year, the Chevron Championship. Final time at Mission Hills begins Thursday at noon Eastern on Golf Channel. I have it on good authority that Judy Rankin is there today, putting the greens, getting a look at the course. She'll be part of the broadcast with us next week. The intrepid reporter. Where she won, as all the greats have, so many of the greats. Visit Carlsbad is providing our aerial coverage. What a spot it is. What a spot. Bother. And Kurtz-Madsen, the leader by 2.
Yeah, in a really tough little area here. Almost like it was an area that didn't have any growth, and they sprigged it. And coincidentally, when it's your day, she found the top of one of those little sprigs. This is an excellent lie from 82 yards. It could have been awful.
Fourth shot on the par 5.
Well done.
A third shot coming up for Na Rin An, who's 2 back. First to 13.
Good look here for Attaya Thitikul. This is to get to 6 under for the day. Puts her at 14 under, so she is right in the mix here to win for the first time on the LPGA Tour. Player who topped the LET's money list, the race to the Costa del Sol last year at the age of 18.
And here is that third shot for Na Rin An. 2 back with Madsen facing a par putt up there ahead.
lots going on this green once that ball lands on it. All kinds of different little subtle contours, but if she's able to get this really close, that could make Nana Kurtz-Madsen's birdie putt just feel a little longer. And this is going to be pretty good, but not really close. Still a good shot, 10 feet away.
11.
This is Lilia Boogs above the hole.
Yeah, she was a little bit unlucky that the shot went through this far. I mean, struck it really well. This one is fast downhill, breaking right.
He's going to put a 2 on the card. Bouncing back after that 6 at the 10th. So she's at 12 under par and has a chance on this back nine to potentially grab that first win. Let's go back to 10.
Nana Rukarn with her third of the par 5.
Now this is going to land on a little bit of a down slope, but she had the ability to get here in 2. It was just a little blocked out by the trees on the right, and she was in the rough, couldn't get it to fade enough. Fortunate to stay out of the bunker here. I think this is an easier shot. Good, nice first bounce. Tremendous shot.
Very well done. She committed to her carry yardage there. Jerry carried that much further than I would have expected.
We're over at the 12th. Charlie Hull, part of the group of 14.
It is. It's definitely stronger and it's almost straight down. Yes, I like it.
This week the course has been playing a little bit more receptive than we've seen it in years past, but what we've seen so far of the 12th hole has been exceptionally firm.
So that's how the leaderboard looks. We've got birdie putts for On and Nana Rukarn. This is Nana Kurtz-Madsen. She is lining up a putt to save par.
So is caddy/fiance. That would be Nikki Hansen. They have an official wedding date, Grant. December 10th, when she will become Nana Kurtz-Madsen Hansen. That's going to be tough to get on the caddy bib.
Wow.
I asked him about it, and he was all smiles. I said, it's official. He said, it's official. You can report it.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, she relies a lot on him, and we can talk a little bit about how he helps her with his very statistical and mathematical approach to the game. Help her rein back her aggressive nature. But they make a good team. They're very different in personality. She a little bit, you know.
They're perfect for each other.
Exactly.
Yeah, he can handle it when she gets upset with herself, and I think he's instrumental in talking her off that cliff when she's headed in that direction. And that's the biggest change in her game, managing those emotions.
Trying to keep this knot from being tied here. Wants to stay in front.
Good line. Great putt. What a par.
How about it? A soggy par 5 for Nana Kurtz-Madsen.
That was gutsy right there.
She can smile now. Birdie putts coming up on that green. First to the 14th and making the big move, Attaya Thitikul. When she won her first of 2 LET events last year, she shot 31 on the back.
Now we know she's got power. She can take it deep. I'm not surprised to see her. Fact about the chasers coming in today, not having much to lose. You know, her kind of being under the radar and coming out hot.
Out here is On for birdie at 10.
Yeah, she putted well all week, really well yesterday. In the middle of the round, this point in the round, she missed a couple of very makeable putts, but late in the day, she made some really good ones until that final debacle at 18. Maybe just dropping a little right here.
So the putt from Madsen does indeed keep her in front by 1, because Na Rin An, who shot 33 under over the 8-round LPGA Q Series at the end of last year, has made birdie to get within 1. Charlie Hull would gladly take 2 putts from here. 12.
really, really slow up a big ridge right there. It's hard when you're putting from that distance on the fringe. I would almost choose to putt that because it's just really hard to control the first bounce, if it does bounce through the fringe.
Attaya Thitikul, as Tom mentioned, a winner last year in Northern Ireland. This is the putt for birdie to get to 13 under.
Maybe 4 feet, solid and with conviction. It shouldn't do a thing.
She won in Northern Ireland. She made a triple bogey in the final round on the 6th hole, wound up winning a playoff. And Kurtz Madsen, he's onto the lead.
Back on the 11th with Na Ren An.
Going with 5 iron here. Little breeze helping also from the left.
Good line.
Yeah, nice looking shot. Little baby draw fighting that breeze right at it.
Don't want to go too far by. You think her confidence is pretty high right now? Oh, watch out. It's okay. Maybe an uphill putt from there. Uphill and downhill. And then a Rukan.
2 clubs less for a non-Rukan. It's a 7 iron. Lots of power in the swing. Got it going a little right of the flag stick.
It's going to be below the hole. Solid player for Jarian and Arukan. Group of very talented Thai players on the LPGA Tour right now.
Here's another one. Now on the LPGA Tour, she is a rookie, but she's 14th in the Rolex rankings and maybe a winner by day's end. Let's see this for birdie.
There shouldn't be too much in this putt, just up the hill. Really good looking birdie here.
Did she do it again? Goodness, that was for 5 birdies in her last 6 holes. She won her first Ladies European Tour event at the age of 14. Remarkable. 19 now and just turned 19.
Back over to the tee at the 11th. And, the leader, Kurtz Madsen.
She took it a club length and a half or so behind the tee box, and she thinks this 6 iron might just be a little too much. Shouldn't be a big swing. Center of the green.
Yeah, that's going to be fine. Most recent winner on the tour is Kurtz Madsen. Took a playoff to beat Shiyu Lin in Thailand a couple of weeks ago. A big breakthrough week for Kurtz Madsen. Let's go to 12.
Charlie Hall, great start. 4 birdies in her first 5 holes, but this for par at 12. Just like you can't get it to the hole from where she was. It feels like, doesn't it?
Straight up the hill.
Now this is, it was going straight up. Now it's coming down a bit. Coverage continues. You can follow LPGA.com for live scoring and the latest up-to-date statistics this week and every week. LPGA.com. Click on now and you'll see Nana Kurtz Madsen leading it by 1. Look from high above, courtesy of our aerial coverage presented by Visit Carlsbad. As the LPGA has done every year since 2010.
Looking down there at the 11th, and who's going to go first here?
Well, Fedrai was kind of meandering around waiting for Ron to putt, and then Naren looked at her and said, I think you're away. She goes, oh yeah. So she's putting first. All three putts are uphill, at least initially. Renan's putt gets really quick after crest the hill. These other two are pretty decent looks from 30 feet away. Slightly uphill. Should be turning a little left time. I know you've seen a few putts. I haven't. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, subtle movements in this green. We've seen players just under reed putts. This 11th green. So we'll see if Majari can get it right.
I like her attitude. She really seems to enjoy playing golf out here.
Yeah, definitely. When I talked to her yesterday before the round, I asked her what her plan was, and she said that her game plan, she said she was going to focus on what she could control and try not to get too far ahead of herself. I feel like that's definitely a taller order playing in the last group today. Trying to chase down Nana.
To 12, and Motomi LeBlanc to get to 14 under.
Well, and as Jerry was saying yesterday when he followed her, how quickly she plays. I think that's one of the reasons why she might be putting a little better this season. That one was a bit of a weak effort there, but it's noticeable that when a player all of a sudden speeds up, their game can improve.
15th tee, Attaya Thitikul.
Tough little fairway to hit here. At least about 60% of the field hitting the fairway, which is well low of LPGA typical standards. Beautiful fairway wood there, right in the middle of the fairway.
Back over to the 11th. Nana Kurtz-Madsen, fiance Nikki, going to work on this one.
Yep. They too thought that Han was away, but we'll get there eventually. This one should have just a little more turn to the left than Anna Rukar's did. Still a little bit on the slow side. Get it there.
Yeah, just under reading it. But still, it's going to be a par. Yeah, she said the AIG Women's Open was a big breakthrough moment for her, which I thought was interesting. She double bogeyed the final hole, having been tied with Anna Nordqvist. She knocked it in the bunker and then had some issues getting it out of that bunker on the 72nd hole, if you remember watching. But I think that attitude of taking the positives from that major championship, the fact that her game was good enough to be there all the way to the very last hole, and she took that and built on it and made it to the Solheim Cup, and of course got that first victory a couple of weeks ago. So she's really building on those moments in her career. Let's go to 12.
Too many moments to count for Jin Young Ko in her career. This for birdie.
It is. She's made some good par putts so far. No birdie.
We mentioned she birdied 5 of her last 6 to win her only start this year. That was in Singapore. Her 13th victory in 82 career starts. Just absurd. Rule number 1. And that gap from 1 to everybody else is widening as we go to the 11th again.
And Arn, who's got this birdie putt from just off the green.
No, had plenty of time to look at it. It's not the easiest putt to dial in the speed. It's uphill significantly the first 2/3, and it crests that hill and goes gently back downhill. Gun this a bit, and it doesn't stop for a while.
See how good her speed management is right now. Left it above the hole. And that's no gimme. Naren Arn with a couple of wins on the KLPGA, which has been such a great proving ground for players to make their way over to the LPGA Tour, which although it's a US-based tour, it's really a world tour in women's golf. With trips all over the globe.
A little bit of a delicate one here, Tom. Tiny bit of movement to the right. She's been hitting these in with pretty decent speed, which is important, but this one might be a different case.
So the lead is 1 for Nana Kurtz-Madsen as we bring you the course setup brought to you by the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America. Let's look at some of these pivotal holes coming in at Aviara.
And this is the 13th. This is the view from the players after they hit their tee shot. The fairway is not that easy to find. The second shot is not that long, but it plays 9 yards uphill. The hole location today in the front right, just over a very, very deep bunker. This is actually playing as the 3rd hardest hole on the course today. Then we move over to the 15th hole, which has played as the hardest hole all week, 2nd hardest hole today. The hole location today on the front left, we just saw Attaya Thitikul hit the very narrow fairway. She's going to have a good angle to try and make another birdie here on the 15th. It's in a unique double green with the 12th hole. And then we saw a lot happen here on the 18th hole yesterday. Very narrow tee shot. Some players electing not to take driver, to lay back to the wider part of the fairway. And then the traditional hole location here, back right on Sunday. Tough one to get it close. You see the penalty area all up the right side. It's going to be an exciting finish here coming down to the 18th hole.
Let's go to the first of those that we took a look at, 13.
And Jin Young Ko on the tee. Rod number 1 in good shape there. That took a big hop, didn't it? He's going to avoid the divots. Yes. And we'll go back to the 12th.
It is Jari and Nana Rukar, 3 back.
Yeah, playing a little out of turn here because they have been asked to gain a little ground by officials. Needs to hold its line on the right side there. Should be good.
Very aggressive line there. She said that hitting fairways is a big goal for her starting this year. It was probably a little closer than she would have liked to the right side.
See how aggressive Thitikul is here with her second. Morgan, you talked about that flag today on the front left.
It's the most accessible one we've seen so far this week, Tom. The whole green sloping dramatically from right to left. Just doesn't get any kind of a bounce out of the fringe there. It's not going to leave it in not a bad spot to leave.
Now Narin on.
That is straight where she was aiming it. Not hardly one bit of movement on it till it bounced uphill somehow.
Specifically, Jerry, 1 foot of curve.
Ooh.
Just her 5th LPGA start. Only 2 before she joined the LPGA this year. Nana Kurtz-Madsen won 3 times on the Epson Tour in 2017. Got what was then an instant promotion to this tour, and now she's a winner.
Looking toward the left, that's probably going to be trying to just let this one fade a little bit, take advantage of the contour, get a little more roll. Oh, wow. This hit. Little baby fade.
How about that result?
Yeah, she's got a little bit of a tough angle on the left side, but the lie looks to be reasonable.
It was a 3-shot lead when the round began, but the chasers are in hot pursuit of Nana Kurtz-Madsen. $500 points to the winner this week. Nana Kurtz-Madsen picked up 500 in the last event when she won in Thailand. This is where they started. And the second column is where they would finish. And that's huge for players like Lilia Vu trying to get into next week's major championship at Mission Hills, the Chevron Championship. high above the 12th. You can see at the top of your screen the double green that it shares with the 15th. Narin On, 26 years old. And the 2 victories that Tom mentioned, they weren't just over anyone. She beat Jin Young Ko in both of those. Had a 10-shot lead going into the final round in the first of the 2. Wanted to handle it.
I mean, we're not going to be able to get this really close, I don't think. Not downwind. But yeah, 130 is your number.
She's one back.
Now, I'm not sure if she looks in meters or if that's an adjusted number. It wouldn't be adjusted because you're playing up there. There is some breeze helping, but it's a 145-yard shot, so they must work in meters. 130 meters would be roughly 143 yards, but not much room in line with the flagstick between the front of the green and the hole. It's just a little right of it. It's going to bounce right.
Just takes that huge hop off the downslope on the backside of the bunker, all the way to the back fringe.
How about this? Our director, Bo Hennessy, his team. There you go, Tom. Your call.
Thitikul with the birdie putt. Didn't hit it. It was right on line. Gonna have a couple of birdie chances coming up though at 16 and 17, and we'll go back down to the fairway at 12.
And her good friend, Jarianana Rukarn, might be able to see her.
Little wedge, good angle here on that tee shot that was accidentally a little farther right than she wanted, but perfect shape. Spin. Beauty.
Okay.
Wow, that is hard to do. Get it that close to that whole location on the 12th. What a fantastic approach.
Just a dozen birdies at the 12th. 81 players made the cut. That's going to be the 13th. And now Kurtz Madsen. You talked about the angle, Morgan. Jerry, what do you see?
No, it's not good. Coming with just a 110-yard shot. Light rough, but it does take some spin away. Really bad hop on that drive because this whole fairway slopes left to right, and it was fading. So unfortunate to end up here. Probably trying to hit something up there close, but it's leaking right. Going to bounce right.
All in all,
It'll be that slow putt that we saw, similar to the line that we saw Charlie try to two-putt and was unable to do so.
Kurtz Madsen trying to go back-to-back for her first 2 wins. Today's coverage is brought to you by Barbasol, America's leader for a close, comfortable shave. Better by Barbasol. By Win Grips, the best grips in golf. And by the Epson Tour, road to the LPGA. Nana Rukarn tapped in for her birdie, so she goes to 14 under. This is Narin On.
Initial line 15 feet right of the hole.
Go.
Here's the right line, just lacking for a touch of speed.
Pretty exceptional from that distance there, Jerry. Saw Charlie leave hers well short, about 10 feet short from that spot.
Here is Charlie, par 3, 14th. 4 back now.
Good job, mate.
Back to trying to bounce back from back-to-back bogeys. At the 16th, it's been moved up again, this par 4, and here's NB Park for Eagle. Doesn't putt for a lot of Eagles, NB. It's going to move to 11 under. Should be one of the returning champions next week at Mission Hills as part of the celebration of the 50th anniversary. Final playing the Chevron Championship. New sponsor, a lot of excitement. It's one of her 7 major championships. Incredible. Here is that double green, 15th from the top left, and here is Nana Kurtz Madsen after a fine shot for birdie.
Same putt as on, just a smaller version of it.
Hole with pars as we go to 13.
This is LeBlanc for birdie. You get her to 14 under par. Just moved on. I went to the right. Usually everything slopes down the hill there, which would have been to the left. Fooled Moremi. See her back on tour, having come from the Epsom Tour.
The Drive, Chip and Putt National Finals are fast approaching. Don't miss the nation's top young golfers competing from Augusta National. It's next Sunday on Golf Channel. Anna Kurtz-Madsen tapped in for her par. Narin on has this. What is it about her putting stroke that jumps out at you?
Yeah, I was watching her on the putting green before she teed off this morning, and I really love, one, the simplicity of it, but she actually does something that I always tried to do when I putt, and it almost looks like her heel is slightly off the ground. She lifts the grip end of the putter a little bit more vertical. Look at how in line her putter shaft is with her arms. That really eliminates face opening and closing. The lower your hands are, the more of a curve you'll have in the putter face, as opposed to being able to take it straight back, straight through. Helps tremendously with consistency of your start line.
And on was second on the KLPGA last year in putting. Perhaps no surprise. All right, Karen, here we are at this exciting par 4 16th, and an exciting young player, 19-year-old Attaya Thitikul.
I mean, without doubt, she's exciting. I mean, we've all seen what she can do on the Ladies European Tour. We've had glimpses of what she can do when she's played at the Honda LPGA Thailand as well. And we know that she is a player that can compete. And even though she is a rookie on the LPGA Tour, she is a very experienced player. This is a 3-wood. Playing back into the wind just a little bit, but you don't need to fly it all the way there if you don't want to. You can land it a little bit short and right and let the slope take it onto the green as well.
She plays with tremendous youthful confidence, Carrie.
And this is taking a very direct line at the flag. A little bit left, maybe.
Careful. We saw Nasa go in the water from here yesterday.
Fortunate break there on the cut of the green. She's going to be happy when she gets down there. She's probably a little bit unsure right now because you can't see, especially that far left.
13.
Anna Rukan. Let's see how aggressive she is off the tee here.
Wind's got it going a little right.
Careful, you don't want to miss the fairway. It can be really juicy. We haven't seen too many players in that bunker. See 3 bunkers on the 13th hole and the 15th hole to the right. Collection of bunkers to the right there on the tee shot.
Is that driver in her hands?
It is, yeah.
Surprise, yeah.
She's not one of the longest players, Jerry, but she's exceptionally accurate.
She is. I'll be surprised, depending on what happens in the next few holes, what club's in her hand on 18 today, because that has been a tough hole for her, and most have been settled by the drive, especially the triple yesterday. With her drive, she needs to hug that left side to stay in the fairway off the tee.
It's going to creep through. No, it gets stuck in the rough on the left. And that makes it just a bit more difficult, especially with the hole today cut towards the front of the green.
It's something.
Driver for Kurtz-Madsen. She's got to go a long way left here, Jerry. With the driver now?
She can, yeah, she does. I mean, the problem is if she cuts the entire corner, that's a long carry, and if she's just right of that, it might go through the fairway.
So do you like this play?
I love it. Why take your greatest
Nope.
asset out of your hands?
Tom,
That's
no.
right.
Nope.
Just going to go into the
Oh,
rough.
Nana.
And not a good lie.
Yeah, it's some of the most juicy rough down there, Morgan.
And it's tough with the next shot playing so far up the hill to try and gouge a ball out of that rough. Get it to stop with the front hole location. She's going to be left with a really tough shot there.
Charlie Hull with bogeys at 12 and 13. Can't answer with a birdie at 14. She was tied for second, just a couple of back. LeBlanc, tee at the par 3 14th.
This hole plays down 12 yards. Hole location very accessible today on the left side. That was a big miscue. Well left. Just so you know.
Gauche.
It was surprising. Way left of where she was looking. Should have been looking about 10, 15 feet right at that hole location.
13.
Bajari from the bunker.
Not easy here. Only 117 actual, but effectively about 135-yard shot with elevation and wind. Ended. That's the better mistake of the two, though.
Where did it end up, Jerry?
Looked like it might have got to the back of the green, if not over.
There's a ball in the middle of the green. Is that her ball there?
She was first to play.
Yeah, so there you go.
We're kind of blind down here, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, it is, it's severely uphill. They have no idea where it finishes, but that's, if that's turned out just fine, Jerry. Now,
a decent lie, but not going to spend much. 98 yards with a pitching wedge. Ended up rocking back off her back foot.
didn't stop because she was coming out of the rough. It's going to be above the hole. Is it going to get a little bit better? No, she's going to have a quick putt. Good aggressive line. And now, Kurtz Madsen.
Just 79 actual, but severe uphill lie, not as awful as I thought, especially with a sand wedge. This ball might be coming down vertically when it lands off this uphill lie. Go. No.
Well, that definitely opens the door. Could have potentially plugged. It looks like it came out of the, be on a downslope though, with a very, very short-sided shot.
An eagle attempt at the par 4 16 for Thitikul.
I like the play with the wedge, just to lob it up over the corner of that little slope there.
That would take her to 15 under, and with the calamity that we have seen at 18, potentially, and coming to fruition, with Naren on making triple there yesterday, Thitikul has a chance to post a number. Be good enough to win, who knows? This is the 14th, and LeBlanc, second shot at the par 3.
Gonna be a quick bunker shot once it gets on the green. I mean, look at just how fast that was.
Chance to save par. LPGA USGA Girls Golf is on a mission to change the face of the game, join the movement, and inspire the next generation of LPGA Tour players. Help make little girls' big dreams come true at girlsgolf.com.
It was one of the big important legacies of Commissioner Mike Wan. His work to get more young women into the game. Lydia Ko makes one from off the green at 17. Gets her to 2 under for the round. Just outside of the top 10 for Lydia, but still a decent week. Not quite up to her high standards, but she'll take some momentum to the desert next week, where she has had great success. Now Kurtz Madsen with her bunker shot.
Yeah, unless she can work some sort of Sevi magic from a spin standpoint, Morgan, 10 feet would be a great shot here. Slight downhill lie, blind to the hole, and very little green with which to work.
You can see from our camera angle just how deep this bunker is.
That is good.
Wow. She was able to generate a ton of spin, Jerry.
That I didn't expect that. If the line were at it, it would have been really good.
The birdie putt here for Thitikul to get within 1.
Well, she's keeping it very simple. Just her just checking out the line on her own. Just have to rely on the caddy and easy done.
How about this run from Thitikul? She's now 7 under on her round. That is 6 birdies in her last 10 holes.
It's very impressive, Grant, but I'm not surprised.
Not at all. We talked about the impressive rookie class. Won't be surprised at all either if one of those rookies makes a run next week at the Chevron Championship, where a rookie won last year. Although it was Patty T's second year, the extended rookie season, they called it. No less impressive.
The 13th hole, Pajarian and Arukan with a birdie try.
They weren't sure it was on the green walking over the fairway either until I told Charlie that found the middle of the green, and he finally handed her the putter. They were relieved coming out of that sand. It almost felt like it was going to get to the back of the green. Nonetheless, a little bit downhill off a slight tear in the green that'll turn it right, but not frighteningly fast.
Yesterday morning, she said she's feeling 100%, and she was able to practice. She just couldn't walk. It was the walking that was very painful for her.
There's a gym.
There is a gym.
Okay. LeBlanc for par.
It's a beautiful gym here at the Park Hyatt Aviara.
How about that up and down from Moda Mi LeBlanc? Chance for a career best finish. Tie for 7th has been her best. Only 2 top 10s ever. Now looking for a 2nd this year. 13.
Now we're in on for birdie.
Looks like it should move just a little left, not much early. Not sure about right at the hole, but it goes back uphill just short of the hole. Bobble a little.
Didn't have the pace to get there either. Just a tremendous amount at stake for both Narin Ahn and Attaya Thitikul, 2 players closest to Nana Kurtz-Madsen right now. Thitikul and Ahn looking for their first LPGA Tour wins. Nana Kurtz-Madsen's got to go to the well here once again. She scrambled a little bit on this back 9 so far, specifically at the 10th, and then here at the 13th once again.
Yeah, if she's able to get this one in, combined with the save at 10, and goes on to win this thing, she'll remember these 2 holes, even though played poorly, and very fondly.
Yeah, that performance on 10 to grind out a par there was very, very gutsy, Jerry. This would be another one, but that's what it takes. You're not going to play a perfect round of golf. It takes being able to get the ball in the hole as fast as possible, even when you don't always have your best stuff.
Wow. Yeah. Good up and down again. And hangs on to that 1-shot lead. But it is close. And Nana Kurtz-Madsen needs to get back into the comfort zone that she was in prior to this final 9. Not sure that she's going to be able to win it if she keeps playing like this with a few loose shots. Remember, it was a loose drive to the left at 10. It was a loose drive to the right here at 13.
I don't know, as far as Madsen's concerned, I don't know if it's a technique or a equipment thing, but her ball is rolling so much smoother than anybody else's I've seen this week. It's on top of the grass early and very little bobble, and most of the other players are fighting that.
Yeah, late in the day on these Poe greens, a few bobbles here and there, so if you can get it running smoothly, you're at such an advantage. It's for par. like the way the Pujari plays the game. Powerful player, wouldn't necessarily think that with her stature, but she hits it a long way. So too does Thitikul, who's on the tee at the 17th.
Tee's all the way back today, Tom, so it's going to take a couple of really big hits to get there in 2.
Looking a little anxious.
Yeah, just down that right side.
And towards the bunker, or not quite that far. On for par. Short walk over to the par 3. We will go to the 18th.
And it's Amy Yang over this putt for par. A round of 68. She's contended so many major championships. She'll be there next week at the Chevron Championship. Looking for her first. There is 2022 Nissan Frontier SV on the line. If someone in this final group can make an ace here, this is the last chance. Saw it back in 2018 when OTG got here. The last player with a chance to do it did it. And she won another car for winning the tournament. So, all new redesigned Frontier.
That hole wasn't placed on the left edge of the green back then, though, Grant. This one's tough.
We had 3 aces at the 3rd hole yesterday. You still had to walk home, no car from that one. Chris Madsen hanging on to a 1-shot lead. Chasers keep getting a little bit closer. Here you see 3 players within a couple. LeBlanc not out of it either.
Yeah, I like this. This is perfect.
Pitch 50.
Pitch 50. And breeze is right to left. So it'll help at 4 o'clock, 4:30.
Eight irons the club. Pitch 50 is an adjusted number. With a little breeze helping, that should not be a real huge 8-iron. Right of the flag, a little more than I would have thought, actually, to the fattest part of the green. But you never know about that first hop on this green, Morgan. Sometimes it's huge.
It all depends on the ball flight. That sounded a little heavy.
And trap left edge.
She's going to get away with that one. I mean, not what she would have liked, but she's not in a terrible spot right there.
Be speedy, won't it?
Definitely have a little bit of pace to it.
Lydia Ko at the 18th. A quiet weekend for Lydia.
Yeah, I'd say her mind probably today especially was focused on next week. How can I best prepare myself? What do I need to tweak with my game? That'll leave her with an uphill putt for birdie there on the 18th.
Na Rin on the tee at the 14th.
7-iron in her hands. So impressive. Just the way she doesn't seem to be fazed by anything. Pressure at the moment. Very, very little. Hitting so many quality iron shots. Trying to help that one up in the air. It's a good lead.
15.
It's a par putt here for Charlie Hull. Not the time in the round you want to be dropping a shot. Charlie will need to take advantage of the 16th and the 17th. And then you've got that very difficult 18th hole to finish it off. Let's go back up to 14.
And
surprised here she's going with the 7-iron. I would have thought it was 8, so she's going to do much like she did back at the 11th and just take a little off.
We talked a little bit earlier about the mathematical approach that her fiance Nikki has. They started using the decade golf system, where they actually, for the most part, play away from the flagstick. Pays attention to the distance of the shot and the dispersion pattern.
So much point away.
That is, Nikki would be not thrilled that that was not on the fat side of the green. That's what we talked about earlier today. He likes it on the fat side of the green.
Bank account getting fatter. A winner. And Kurtz Madsen's lead is 1. Jarianana Rukarn is 2 back with a delicate second here at the 14th, it would appear.
Yeah, she's got a good lie though, sitting on a little patch of Poana, so it's almost like it's on a mat. There is a tuft of the bluegrass right behind it, but it's not really going to affect the shot. So she should be able to clip this with some predictability. Once it gets on the green, it's not that much downhill, just going to turn right.
We saw Maudemy hit a bunker shot from a similar direction. Jerry just has quite a bit of speed to it. Right when it landed, but all in all, well judged.
17.
Third shot here for Thitikul.
This from 122. It is back into a little breeze, so that'll help it stop a bit quicker on the downslope.
Oh, that is very tidy. And she's going to have a putt here to get it to 8 under for the round. Into 16 under par, so potentially tied for the lead. Let's go to 18.
And Lydia Ko for a closing birdie. Won here in 2016 and then won the next week. The Chevron Championship. It's the second of her 2 major titles. Will absolutely be one of the favorites, especially after what she did on Sunday in Mission Hills last year.
Yeah, what was it, 62 last Sunday at the Chevron last year. She loves that golf course.
Nalrin on long birdie putt at 14.
Very slow. See if she can give this one a chance. Not easy to do. Oh, she did. Too much.
It's when the last thought in your mind, Jerry, is hit it. Hit it hard. And I always still think, all right, roll it, have good pace. Don't want to think about hitting a putt ever.
That will be a wiggler coming back from par. Madsen has a birdie putt in a moment. First, 15.
LeBlanc has this for birdie. She's got a chance here. She's got a chance to do something very special. Looks like it's going to be a career best finish. This one's down the hill, right to left, Morgan. Not necessarily one you'd expect to make.
Yeah, and she's got a chance. She's got 16 and 17 with her length. You know, it'll be interesting to see, but those are not the putts that you want to leave yourself with here. About 7-8 feet left for par.
And you never know what can happen at 18 here. There's so much danger on that hole, and if the breeze gets up when you're up on that tee shot, it can be a beast.
This has been a week of resilience. Kurtz Madsen survived a double bogey at the 8th hole yesterday. Nalrin on a triple at 18. Both are right here contending. And this is Nana for a 2-shot lead.
The slope increases the downhill slope as it gets to the hole, so not as fast early as it is late. Very smooth looking this area of the green. Not a lot of traffic on this part of the green thus far today. Good roll. Settle down.
We haven't mentioned the afternoon Poana today, but it's always a topic of conversation, isn't it? It's not a tap in. 15.
Young Ko for a birdie. She's kind of out of it now. It's 5 behind. It's strange to say it for the world #1. Just hasn't been the weekend that we expected from Jin Young. Quite on the right line. Led the way after the opening day. And we were talking about all those records of rounds in the 60s, consecutive rounds under par. And she's still won 4 of her last 5 starts, but it's going to be 4 of her last 6. But our expectations are so high for Jin Young Ko. I think 5 shots may be a little too much to make up over 3 holes.
Are you saying she's human, Tom?
She is just human.
Some tough par putts here at 14, first on.
All 3 of them huge putts at this point.
Wow.
These 3 have been doing that regularly all day long, and it's probably the primary reason they are the top 3 names on the leaderboard.
One of your new favorite putting strokes here. Ren on.
This is a good story. Lilia Vu. This is for a birdie to get it to 13 under. Talked about players making a move in the CME points. Lilia is going to do exactly that. Projected to move to 38th, which will book her a ticket to next week's Chevron Championship.
Pajari for par, 14.
Something didn't feel right.
It's a little bit unsettled. It's not what you want when you're putting 4 or 5 footer here on Poana greens, but just reset yourself, recommit.
What an up and down. Tough spot. Rukarn, she stays 2 back.
This is to get to 16 under par, tie the lead.
Just a little bit down the hill here, Tom.
Got it. Is this the new star of the LPGA Tour? Tied for the lead with 1 hole to play. She is 8 under par for the final round and has a great chance here to win for the first time on the LPGA Tour.
And Kurt Madsen has to make this to stay tied.
Rock solid all day long on these.
Another one there, Jerry. Wow.
Deep well.
Playing with the confidence that she's never had before off her first victory 2 weeks ago.
15th tee shot here for Anna Narukan.
Taking lesson driver here. Going to try and probably keep this center to left center to give her best angle to that sloping green. Exactly where that started. Depends on the bounce.
Yeah, that'll be just fine, Jerry. There's a few moguls there. She'll have a bit of an uneven lie. So characteristic around this golf course. There are so many undulations on each and every hole. Hardly ever have a flat lie.
Kurt Madsen needs a good drive here. Yesterday she hit one way right on this hole.
If she hits a good one, though, she'll have wedge in. She'll get it across that cart path.
Penalty area down the left. Remember at 10 she hit it in the penalty area.
That was 3 wood on 10. This one's turning. Nice little draw. The line's good right now. Should remain that way.
Aggressive plays here, Jerry.
That's going to go a long way.
I guess getting that first win under your belt kind of frees you up a little bit, Morgan.
I'm feeling very confident, especially with that driver, just to even tee it up on that hole. It's such a tight fairway to hit, especially where her driver would end up. It gets even more narrow.
This is a player, Attaya Thitikul, whose reputation preceded her when she got to the LPGA Tour as a rookie just a few weeks ago. 18 when she got to the tour, just turned 19 a month and a week ago, and now tied for the lead.
Well, and she's obviously used to this situation. She has been runner-up in Thailand. She's had a couple of top 5 finishes, one at Evian, a major championship. You know, you win an LET tournament when you're a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
You kind of start the conversation with Lydia Ko.
Yeah, great comparison there, Karen. I mean, certainly she hasn't won yet on the LPGA Tour, but she looks very, very comfortable on this big stage.
Huge tee shot here.
Smart play, clapping back. A little bit of a draw down to that left side. Might catch that rough.
Looks to be sitting okay from our camera angle here, Karen. I think she's going to get away with that one.
Thitikul 8 under on a round today. She's going to become one of the youngest winners in LPGA Tour history.
Back at the 15th hole. On second.
Going with an easy 7-iron. Good lie, not great. Nice smooth one there from 146 right of the hole. Not a bad shot at all.
Yeah, I like that.
The hill there, but chance for a birdie. The Jari.
139, good lie ball, slightly above her feet. 9-iron, she can get this close. Takes a well-executed shot to have enough spin to not bounce off the green around that hole. Everything bounces a little left. This is turning just a hair left. Oh, what a shot.
Good shot.
Stay.
She was a bit unlucky that didn't hop forward.
I have not seen a single ball this week not hop forward on any of the greens.
Farther down the hill is Madsen with her second.
Very, very flat lie, which is unusual at Aviara. Little pitching wedge here. I just don't think from 115 gap was going to be enough. So she lands it somewhere just short, just right of the hole. This could be really good. That's getting a little picky though.
Yeah, it's a tough one, Jerry, to manage club selection as you get a little bit excited between adrenaline.
Way in the air. Looks a little deep, not much. That's the problem with this green.
Yeah, the left club just probably wouldn't have gotten quite to the green, like you said. That'll leave her an uphill putt. Not a bad leave.
Anna Madsen trying to join this list. Since 1990, 3 players have made their first 2 wins on the LPGA back-to-back events. Trish Johnson, the first to do it in '93, winning in Las Vegas and then in Atlanta. And for Trish Johnson, there was a week in between, which is the same for Madsen. Emily Klein has done it. Those wins being the AIG Women's Open, and then most recently, Area Jutanagan. Let's go to 18.
And NB Park for birdie. Is there anything you've seen that would dissuade you from thinking she's got a good chance next week, NB?
I never count NB out. She's just so methodical with her play and accurate off the tee. The one thing is you see a little bit more lately with the way that they've set up Mission Hills that it has lent itself to a little bit more of a power player than NB has been in her career, but she still manages to get the job done.
Judy Rankin is out there today, putting the greens and touring the course. She said it is playing lightning fast, and it is in pristine condition.
Well, and lightning fast plays into the hands of NB as one of the best putters
There you go.
ever to play the game.
Tie at the top with a Dane.
Looking down on that 15th green. quite sure who's first to go here.
Nobody's acting like it. Matching her on. I think it was on, but they haven't looked at each other yet.
So whilst they figure those out, we will go to 16.
And a birdie attempt for Charlie Hull. She was within 2 after a birdie in the 10th hole, but back-to-back bogeys at 12 and 13. It's going to be a good week for Charlie. Likely not enough. The leaders at 16 under. Have we figured it out yet at 15? What's happening?
Well, they had a discussion. It took quite a while. A little bit of who's on first here. I think On's going.
Last week, Jerry, when I was out at the Valspar, I saw the guys flip a tee. They couldn't figure out who was away, so they just, Brooks flipped a tee in the air and said, okay, your turn.
Hopefully nobody called heads.
Never had a 2-time winner of the JTBC Classic. We're going to have another name added to the list. Goes back to 2010. We first came to this area. 3 golf courses have been used for the JTBC Classic. 9 straight years here at Aviara. It's become a very well-known venue on the LPGA Tour. And all the folks here relish this week, entertaining everyone, putting on a great show. On now.
Yeah, down the hill, almost straight to the hole. It should be dropping a little right by my read. Not a ton, but it's so quick that could magnify the little break that's there.
Stays 1 behind. We will go to the tee, or go to the fairway at the 18th.
And that's where we find Thitikul just left of it in the rough, Karen.
Yeah, 155 to the front, 185 to the hole. Got a great lie. Wind is into. This one's starting a little bit left of the flag, but looking like it's going to fade towards the right.
Really long uphill. That's going to be a challenging 2-putt, but I think she needs to post at least 16 to put the pressure on Nana, who also still has 16 and 17 left to play.
Yeah, the drivable par 4 and the par 5.
Chance here at 15 for a birdie.
Yeah, a little bit uphill. You can tell by the way that second shot reacted. A little distraction from a cart going over a speed bump in the distance, but uphill will probably work a little right. All in all, doesn't look like a ton, though. Just trying to get the perfect speed on it. If you get the perfect speed on it, you're going to like what's remaining, if anything.
Yeah, here with a stress-free 2-putt would be a nice way to walk to the 16th tee.
Ooh, wasn't far away from knocking it in. Good try. So she will head up the hill to the 16th. Will be interesting to see her strategy there, how aggressive she gets with the tee shot. Doesn't necessarily need to be too aggressive. That's where the danger comes in. Penalty area down the left. Jari and Narukan has given herself a chance to get it to 15 under par as she tries to put herself into the mix at the top of this leaderboard. Will get her to within 1.
Speed-wise, not all that slow here. Although it looks like it's going a little uphill. Halfway there, it's pretty flat. The whole contour of this green should move it slightly left, but we've seen a lot of short putts made, but not many from that what a player considers a makeable distance. This range here, 15 to 20 feet, 10 to 20 feet.
Stayed out there. That was a really good opportunity. She's going to stay 2 back. Just going to have to make something happen over these next 2 holes. Birdie chances at 16 and 17. tough two-putt coming up for Attaya Thitikul as she tries to set the target in the clubhouse here.
Tied for the lead, Attaya Thitikul, but a long birdie putt at 18.
It is so long. Right from the very front of the green, it's got to go up a big slope, and it's going to break to the right once it gets over the top of that tier. Hard to give this one enough because it is such a long putt.
No three putts this week through 71 holes for Attaya Thitikul. And for par. Let's take a closer look at this week's Aon Risk Reward Challenge hole, the 16th at Aviara Golf Club. It presents a unique challenge, especially from the forward tee. When it's moved up and plays between 250 and 285 yards, everyone can reach it. The challenge is the water on the left, protecting that putting surface. When the tee was moved up in 2021, players took advantage of that scoring opportunity. The field averaged 3.57 strokes during the weekend round. Recent winners have all capitalized on this drivable par 4 down the stretch. The last 4 JTBC Classic champions haven't made worse than par on this hole and have carded an average score of 3.38 from the front tees, allowing it to gain a third of a stroke on the field from that forward tee en route to victory. Morgan, the tee gets moved up on the weekend, but it still requires a good tee shot. If you hit a good one, you've got a chance to pick up a shot or maybe two. Yeah, I think especially the players here in this final group are looking at certainly birdie and potentially needing eagle, especially if you're not Nana. Nana knowing birdie will put her in a good spot, but I mean, now Renan made eagle on this hole yesterday from about a 15-footer. She and Nana both drove the green. Minjee Lee made ace here. Morgan was in the group with her on Saturday in 2016. Minjee currently leads the Aon Risk Reward Challenge standings through 5+ events. This is the 19-year-old Attaya Thitikul, trying to become the latest teen to win on the LPGA Tour. Sasso did it at the U.S. Women's Open last year. She's got this putt for par, Karen, to post 16 under. And just a tremendous final round. I mean, just coming out, making up some ground. I mean, as you were saying, having a bogey on the card already, and this would be a tremendous way to finish it off. I like how simple she keeps things. She's not overthinking anything. Absolutely brilliant. I think she knows it too, Grant. I think that sigh of relief. 9 birdies, but that par may have been as impressive as anything, and it may be enough, maybe, to get her into a playoff. Yes, really solid, compact putting stroke. And just the relief, knowing I'm sure the leaderboard right there on the 18th hole. She knew where she stands. She knows that she probably at least had to post at 16. What an exceptional final round. Regardless of what happens the rest of the day, we're going to see a lot of fun stuff from Attaya Thitikul this year. We've talked about how talented this rookie class is. Incredible. This was earlier at the 16th for Eagle Jin Young Ko. I mean, she's not going to go eagle birdie, is she? And post 16 under. It looks like she is going to extend her streak of rounds under par to 34 in a row, an all-time LPGA record. And our aerial coverage, as it's been all week, brought to you by Visit Carlsbad. Jin Young Ko, world number 1. That moves her into the tie for 6th. This is Modemi LeBlanc. And this to get to 14 under and keep a flicker of hope alive. been just a dramatic turnaround with her putter in the last year or so from Mo to Me. And it is paying dividends richly. She is tied for 4th. Back to the tee at the 16th, and Pujari Nanarukar.
With the fairway wood, 242 yards of the front edge. You adjust that for elevation effectively, 226 yards, but a little breeze in. She absolutely needs to make birdie here or better. Don't want to get to the 18th hole having to make birdie, and that's assuming she makes birdie at the next. Well, she's done her part. That is a really good shot, just right of the hole. Depends on the bounce.
It's a beauty. There were some groans when it didn't go in.
It sneaked by. It
took a peek.
Gave me a little pause there. What? Just in the moment, knowing what she needs to do. Very well done.
Very dear friend. 3 years her junior, Attaya Thitikul, played practice rounds earlier this week. She has just posted 64 and 16 under. Now here is Na Rin on one back.
Great success here yesterday, as you mentioned, but it wasn't a good tee shot. It was thin and necked, but it turned out great. This one's turning over a little. Should stay dry. Maybe not.
Didn't quite get through the rough. Just a little bit short of the green. There's some thick rough there. You can just barely see the golf ball from our angle.
Now Madsen.
Ja.
This will be very telling here in how confident she feels, truly feels right now. Well, you got bailout rounds, so it's not exactly crucial, but she wants to win. She has shown us a lot this week.
Like I said, Jerry, she's playing for a little bit of dispersion. She's really trying to commit to the finish line. And sometimes human error wants you to sneak a little bit closer to the hole, but she needs to really commit right here.
This is turning left. This needs a soft first hop.
Hang on. Wow.
Wow.
Is it her week?
Had Nas's ball landed in the same place yesterday and ricocheted right down into the water, but what a fortunate break there for Nana.
And what a day for Attaya Thitikul. A 2-putt from 70 feet to the 18th to post 64 and get a share of the lead. There aren't many rookies who arrive on the LPGA Tour in the top 20 in the Rolex rankings. That's the case with Attaya Thitikul. A 64 has tied her with Anna Kurtz-Madsen. Anna just hit her tee shot with Na Rin on and Pujari Nanarukar, and this is how they looked, Morgan.
Yeah, Pujari having obviously the best result with the best line there, the light blue. And still, I mean, Nana's got very, very fortunate to not end up in that penalty area. And now it's time for her to take advantage of that.
And in terms of the shot itself, how would you describe it? The challenge.
You talking to me?
The second shot.
Okay, for Madsen, it's
either one.
Madsen's is easy. I say that, not discounting the fact that it's a 16th hole and she's trying to win a golf tournament. Na Rin is not that difficult. A little more so because it's going to land on a slight downslope. The lie, though, is down grade. And anybody who's ever played a fair bit of golf at any skill level knows how much easier it is to put some kind of predictable speed on it with a down grade lie versus hacking it out of an up grade lie.
Yeah, she started working with Dana Dahlquist earlier this year, and he was out here earlier in the week, and he said that they spent a lot of time chipping around the greens. So we'll see if that work is paid off.
It just so much depends on that first bounce when you're landing it onto our our favorite two words, afternoon poana. Sometimes it stands it right up, makes you look foolish. Other times it skids forward and makes you look like it wasn't a good shot. But you've done your best, landing it exactly where you want to. Rudder and low to take out that variable. Really nice touch here for eagle.
Nearly a pair of deuces in the 16th from the weekend. Now Rin on that will move her to 16 under. 17.
Charlie Hull has this for birdie. Charlie to get it to 14 under. Oh, not quite enough. And if that had gone in, she would have had to have holed her second at 18 to have a chance. We'll go back over to 16.
Morgan, she has made some of her own breaks with great bounce backs, but how fortunate was she here, Anna Kurtz-Madsen?
Yeah, I think very fortunate. And in this moment, here on the 16th hole, trying to win a golf tournament. I mean, Jerry, you said this chip is relatively straightforward now. Now from where this golf ball came to rest.
She didn't know until she got almost to the green, and a very nice Marshall got to share some good news. You're fine. I tried to signal her on the tee and told her that, and she goes, "That was a long walk."
I was just going to say, Jerry, that's a very stressful long walk, not knowing if the ball is in the water or not.
Second shot, par 4.
They ran it like it's a putt.
Not bad, but not in. To the 18th, and Inchi Chun. Never seems to have a bad week. She seemed to be amused by that approach. She's really going to love it when she sees how close it is.
Exceptional shot there. There's only been 4 birdies so far today on the 18th hole. Playing is the hardest hole on the golf course today, second hardest for the week.
So we have the lead at 16 under, although Kurtz-Madsen has a short birdie putt for Anana Rukkarn. If this were to fall, at least these few moments, she would be tied for the lead.
It might sound like a broken record to our viewers who watch this event each year, but this putt is off short so often. You think it's downhill. When you're walking down the green, it looks like everything slopes back to front, but it doesn't.
It's also relatively flat, Jerry. It's kind of hard in terms of left or right break. It's tough to read anything into this putt.
That was a mistake.
Maybe she'd been listening to you in previous years, Jerry.
You can get connected with the LPGA on social media. Check them out on Facebook, Twitter at LPGA, Instagram at LPGA_Tour. We have playing for 3.5 days, and this tournament is still very much up for grabs. We have a 3-way tie for the lead, at least for the moment. Rin on, as she did yesterday at the 16th. Into a share of the lead. She made triple at the 18th and yet has bounced back. Anna Kurtz-Madsen is coming up for birdie to take the lead right back. Anna Rukkarn maybe first.
One more time, Morgan. I'm 9 years at this course here now? I'm not sure. I've been an entire round with 3 players and not seen multiple putts of this length missed. I have not seen a single one on this grouping today.
time, Jerry, is just going to get you around this golf course. Keep leaving yourself with putts of that length. Eventually, that's going to happen.
Yeah, one time for it.
That was for birdie. This is for par. 3-putt 4.
Man, it's really unfortunate after that exceptional tee shot that she hit in there. It's maddening. 3-putt par.
Go back to Thailand. A couple of weeks ago, the last LPGA event, she had a 4-shot lead with 4 to go. She made a couple of bogeys. She then made a couple of birdies. They had to go extra holes. And Madsen prevailed with an eagle on the second playoff hole for her first victory. Now this for the lead with 2 to go.
Playoff victory, Grant. That was one clutch putt. I remember watching it live. God knows what hour it was, but it was pretty impressive.
Not able to take advantage of that exceptional break that she got there. She just needs to compose herself here for a minute. This is where that mental work she's been putting in. She's got to realize she's made a mistake. I'm still tied for the lead. Let's finish it off.
Make it 3, tied at the top.
Back to team 17.
17th hole in the middle of your picture, looking down at the Aviara Golf Club, the Park Hyatt Aviara. Par 5, the long par 5 is one of the longest par 5s the players will face all year. And with that heavy air coming off the Pacific, it can play a bit longer, but it is downhill, and this fairway has been pretty firm. On the tee.
Really little breeze as well. 3-shot hole for one. No matter what this tee shot does, that's a nice little high draw left side.
No problem at all. Players can prefer their lies on this 17th, so saw that one just sit down a little bit. No problem for her. She'll be able to put it into a good spot. This is LeBlanc with her 3rd.
From 77 yards, could have got to this green in 2, Tom, but decided to lay up. Then
Well, maybe that was the right decision. It's a strange decision considering an eagle here would get her to 16 under par and tie for the lead. And an Arukan on the tee.
A good tee shot here, and she can get pretty close. Needs to land in the fairway and stay in it to get the most roll.
Yeah.
Left side.
And it's going to find the rough. Now, Nana Kurtz-Madsen.
Stand, please. Be still. Thank you.
Jerry, what did you notice in the walk from 16 to 17 from Nana?
No, I was ahead of her. Didn't. I was walking next to On and Pajari. It seems like she's pretty well gathered her emotions already. The one big, powerful drive that she's capable of here, and she's got a great chance of getting home in 2. But it's a tiny fairway. Oh, she went after it. She really went after it.
For a good kick.
It's been her miss this week. We saw it on the last hole. We saw it on 8 yesterday.
Well,
She'll probably be close enough to
Say the P word.
yeah.
cart path that she will be able to get relief from there, but it's no bargain. She'll have to drop it in the bit of dirt area there.
Heads up, guys.
Yeah, the swing path there, you'd think, would be affected by the path, so she would get relief from that. Well, Jin Young Ko looking for a fast finish here.
as is she's very capable of, and she's been rolling the ball really very nicely, this back 9.
Oh, yes, so I had written her off. But
Just saying.
if she holds a second shot at the 18th, she could get into a playoff. It's been done before. What a LeBlanc here for a birdie.
I was a little surprised, Tom, I've got to say, that she didn't give it a go. She's been really conservative on a number of these par 5s today. I think, you know, when you've only had had 2 top 10s in your career, it's very easy to see your position on the leaderboard and think, I don't want to lose any shots. I don't want to give that up, as opposed to thinking about winning.
That putt there was tentative. That feeling, Karen, of trying to protect where she is. That is an unfortunate putt to leave short just in this moment.
Janie Jackson's not going to win this week. She has a chance to pick up a lovely consolation prize, and that is earn a spot in next week's Chevron Championship. She needs a good shot here. It sounded really good. Safely on, but a tough 2-putt maybe.
And probably will trickle more towards the fringe. The left side of this green slopes dramatically off. But as we've seen, this 18th green from a distance can be really tough.
We think a couple of putts will do it for Janie Jackson to get in next week. Attaya Thitikul, a couple of groups ago, posted 64. We asked if we could visit with her. She said not yet. She wanted to see what happens. Kurtz Madsen, ran on, playing the 17th. Nana's missed it left. Lizette Salas a 65. As well as she plays in majors. I know she's not the longest hitter, but maybe that's good foreshadowing for Lizette. Seems to always surface when the stakes are the highest. Kyoju Kim, by the way, 35 consecutive cuts made. He is the current best on the LPGA Tour. A lost week for Lexi. Never really got in. In fact, it was incredible just to make the cut. She was outside. She was 100th with a couple of holes to play on Friday and went birdie eagle, holed out on her last hole. She made the cut by 1. So at least she got to play 4 rounds. Here is Jin Young Ko.
Everyone hold up behind, please. Thanks.
Karen's caught back up with this group after watching the Thitikul finish, and you just knew she wasn't going to just fold. Jin Young Ko.
No, I mean, there's too much pride there. I mean, there's no real quit in her at all. And she was rolling the putts really well too earlier on in the day, and I think that always gives a player a good perspective that she can do something, and this is a really nice cue ball here.
Well, she came to the 18th on Friday, needing to hole out her second shot to extend her record streak of rounds in the 60s to 17. Do it. 17.
Yeah, Kurtz Madsen getting a ruling, but Bajari Alanarukan, you can see in the background, is going to play first.
Yeah, not a great lie into the green, but this is the best club in the bag to attack rounds with. The lofted hybrid gets through this precarious lie better than anything. It won't have much heat on it, though. I stand corrected. That was hits.
Well, she's 2 back. Remember, 16 is in, so she's got to play the last 2 holes in 2 under par to have any chance. Get it up and down for a birdie, and then a birdie at 18. And we'll go to the tee at the 18th.
Logan LeBlanc in the same boat as Jin Young Ko, needing a miracle.
Yeah, just going with the iron here, just to lay this one up short of all the trouble. This one starting down the right side, but with that club into this wind should be no problem at all.
Did you go the party?
17.
An on second.
Slide up the line, massive fairway. That's going to be fine.
Yeah, just down the left side there. She is tied for the lead, so let's check in with Kurtz Madsen.
It's the second drop, Mitch Moon on the scene, so she'll be placing it where it landed that second time. And even still, it's a side hill, downhill lie on hard pan, so there's not going to be able to get a lot of distance out of it and say like a 3-wood or something. It'd be crazy to try off that lie.
How far does she have roughly to the green?
She has 274 yards in the front, 280 to the stick, so out of reach.
Now if it rolls, it's not stuck. Yeah. Like random situation. Yep.
What's the play here, Jerry?
I think, quite honestly, I mean, I wouldn't want to go comfortable with it off this type of lie. It's 5 or 6 iron.
You have to watch your footing. It's not a whole lot to hold your shoes there.
No, this is not where soft spikes pay off.
There aren't too many players on the LPGA using metal spikes. Christina Kim, I think, is the only one that I know of.
You can't get into those clubhouses with them on. That'd be a pain.
Maybe she doesn't even use them anymore.
Could be wrong, but I think there was talk about maybe not allowing metal spikes anymore on tour. I can get clarification on that.
It's just my luck. Spend a whole career having to putt through spike marks. Now you can tap them down and you can't learn.
A play that's almost like a fairway bunker shot here, Jerry.
No, she put that cleanly. Yeah. But yeah, in that regard, yes, kind of try and quiet the lower body. And make sure above all else that you get that ball before you get the ground. Thin and long, that's going nowhere. Caught it nicely. It's to the right side, right edge of the fairway, but laid back far enough.
Yeah, into the little mogul there. See how that lies, whether it's an uphill lie or not. Take a look at the swing, Morgan.
She's kept her lower body really still, trying to get down the ball, just so far below her feet. Managed to escape pretty well considering the situation.
It is close here, coming down to the wire at the JTBC Classic. 3 players tied for the lead.
With 16 under having been posted by Thitikul, this is Motomi LeBlanc's second shot at 18, has to hold it to tie.
187 to the hole, 177 to carry the penalty area. It's a 5-iron. Really well struck. Think it's a little left though.
What a shot.
Tremendous shot.
I mean, a par here is enormous for LeBlanc. She's going to have her career best finish. Be a little different than it would be perhaps for Jin Young Ko, who's only thinking about wins, has to hold it herself. 17.
As I mentioned, they're playing preferred lies on the 17th fairway, just 2 holes, the 5th and the 17th, so that's why she's got the ball in hand.
Well, she actually called much more man and took relief from a sprinkler head and interfering with her stance first because she wanted to negate as much of that uphill mogul slope as she had. So effectively, she got about 2 club lengths of lift clean in place on this. So entitled to do that, playing well within the rules. A much better lie, although still uphill, but a much more manageable lie here from 122 yards.
So a little bit of fortune at 16 with a soft bounce, and a bit of fortune here at 17.
To the hole because it's got so much written all over it that it comes up short. I don't think pitching wedge even gets there. As much power she has into this breeze off the uphill slope. But you also want to get it close.
Plays probably to just take one more club and swing easy. You don't want to swing too hard with the upslope and add too much backspin into that wind. Control the shot a little bit, bring the ball flight down. Yeah.
Seems like they've been chatting about the wind. We can't understand what they're saying, but they keep looking up in the air, and she just backed off that one and took a peek up into the sky.
Well, we're also hearing the loudspeaker for the introductions of the players walking to 18 here too. Miles in the air left of the flagstick, but only about 12 feet.
take the good breaks when they come your way, and she's had a couple of them there. That was just the bounce of the year.
And judging by her reaction, even she was shocked by that. I mean, think about the fortune at 16, now the good fortune on 17. Sometimes when it's your week, Tom, it's those kind of bounces go your way.
Well, you got to play the hot hand. Luck is on your side. She's got to finish it off though. On now with her third.
77, great lie. Very flat. Flagstick saying, come and get me. Might need to sit down.
Yeah. It's okay, but not the guaranteed birdie range. And we will go over to the 18th.
There was a hole out for eagle last year here at 18. Ko has to do it.
Not an easy hole location to do it. Tucked on that right side.
Giving us a glimpse of her apparent mortality here. She hasn't finished outside the top 6 on the LPGA Tour since last summer. 17.
Pujari and Narukan with her third.
Just 71 yards uphill. I should be able to spin it plenty to get it close. Clipped it nicely.
Needs the spin.
That flew it too deep.
She needs a birdie here. May not be good enough, but she has to make a birdie to give herself a chance. Attaya Thitikul is just hanging out by the clubhouse.
It's easy to get a little bit chilly here in Carlsbad, Tom. If I were her, I maybe would head up to the range and at least try and stay a little bit loose.
Yeah, she's a little ways away from the range. It would be probably a 5-minute walk from here, so doesn't look like she's got any plans to go and hit any balls yet, although she's trying to stay loose. Looks pretty relaxed though, doesn't she?
19.
Yeah. What have you got to lose? She already won 4 times on the LET.
Once when she was 14.
Back out to the 17th. Whilst they're looking at those putts, go to the green at the 18th.
And the birdie attempt for Modemi LeBlanc. She never has had this high of a place on the LPGA priority list. 6th off the Epson Tour rankings, and now for birdie. Morgan's 7th year, but a different player.
I've been really impressed with the way that she's played this weekend. I mean, she's been in contention, so to speak, for the last 2 days, and really has hung tough, has played well, has put herself in that position and 2 out of 3 events this year. Top 10's very impressive, and it'd be interesting to see how she can continue this hot play through the season.
She's tied for 4th. It would be her career best. 17.
Pujariana Narukan is 2 back. And she has this for birdie at 17. She's battling Coates Madsen and Arndt, who are playing alongside her here.
The 3-putt par at the last, followed by that 71-yard, basically long pitch shot, 40 feet past. That'll give her something to think about this evening. But not over yet. Make a great putt here, back slightly uphill, not much.
To go left in a hurry. Just going to be a par. Ran out of steam coming down the stretch. And at the moment, like Jin Young Ko and Modemi LeBlanc, she would need to hold her 2nd at the final hole, but she needs a little bit of help as well from Madsen and Arndt. Let's go to the 18th.
And trying to finish eagle birdie birdie, Jin Young Ko.
It's a long shot here. Really uphill.
She is going to extend her streak of subpar rounds to 34. LPGA record. She might start a new round, a streak of rounds in the 60s.
Will be next to go with her birdie try.
And this is the first hole, Tom, where since Thitikul has got in at 16 under par, where this group has been able to see how things stand leaderboard wise. None of them have asked, so they know she's in at 16, and she also knows how close Nana is up there to the hole.
Oh, we know the caddies look, Jerry, but did the players take a good look at it?
You can't hardly miss this one.
Just to take a one-shot lead. Oh, she went for it as well. Love to see the aggressive nature, but now she's got some work to do to save par. But this is the hole to make the birdie. 18 is such a tough hole. If you're going to get to 17 under par, this is the place to do it. You can't rely on having to make a birdie at 18. So you can understand why she went for that one.
I went up and looked right where that ball landed for Kurtz Madsen, that approach shot, and there is some slope there, but the slope's going left. I have no idea how that ricocheted right. And as it is, just maybe a foot longer than the one at the last hole, which was the first short putt she's missed today.
There was that leaderboard that Jerry was mentioning, right behind the green, right in the eye line of these players when they're putting from this side of the hole.
Yeah, I don't know how you walking up to the green, you can't look at it. You have to be pretty disciplined if that's your goal. I mean, there's two philosophies on that.
This is it, Jerry. This is the chance. This is the chance to get ahead and get to 17 under par and then make par at 18. Huge putt here for Nana Kurtz Madsen. And she's got it. Looking for back-to-back wins on the LPGA Tour, having won in Thailand a couple of weeks ago. She is on top form.
She has just been so solid with the flat stick all week. I know she missed that one on 16, but she was able to put it out of her mind. That actually hopped more than some of the putts that we've seen her make so far this week, but dead center of the hole now.
Okay, gonna hang on 18. There's danger lurking there. Narin An, a rookie from South Korea. He's going to have a very good week. Still has a chance to win, but this one needs to go in.
Still, yeah, there's a lot to be said before this is over. So much could happen at 18. Unfortunately for An, she's 5 over on that hole for the week.
For trying to knock it in with the birdie putt. Just a little bit too much steam. And, misses the comeback putt, so she's going to fall to 15 under par. And it is Nana Kurtz Madsen who will take that one-shot lead to the 72nd hole.
Okay, get off me.
Today's coverage is brought to you by the Park Hyatt Aviara Resort Golf Club and Spa, and by Volunteers of America.
Stay still, please.
A par for Nana Kurtz Madsen at the 18th would give her her second consecutive LPGA Tour title.
Not going with driver or 3-wood for that matter. Lofted fairway wood here. Job number 1, get it on the short stuff. Looks like she's done it. Little draw left center.
Yeah, job 1 done there, Jerry. Herself an excellent position.
Attaya Thitikul shot 64 to post 16 under. She waits. Kurtz Madsen 2 weeks ago, the last event in Thailand, bogeyed the 18th hole, fell into a playoff with Shi Lim, beat Shi Yu on the second playoff hole. She hopes to avoid overtime today. And on a Rukarn on the tee at 18.
The hybrid as well. Little breeze in. Yeah, very similar line. Maybe a little more right of it with a baby fade. Good shape.
She's made every cut this year. Pujari just 22
Played
years
straight
old,
in, just
already
slight
a
right to
winner.
left.
Now Na Renan, her 5th LPGA Tour start. The rookie who won Q Series last December. The 8-round gauntlet produced this year's graduating class from that qualifying tournament. Off a bogey at 17, she is 2 back.
She'd hit this club off the tee yesterday. She might be in a different position right now. The driver ended up making triple. This 3-wood. And needs to make birdie. Yeah. That's going to be good.
It is not over yet. Maybe redemption for Na Renan. Maybe a second straight win for Nana Kurtz-Madsen. Attaya Thitikul isn't done yet either. She's been watching to see where things stand. She's 1 back. That's how things stand with the final group on the 18th. Nana Kurtz-Madsen, clutch today. Began the day with a 3-shot lead. Has played bogey-free golf, some tremendous escapes at 10, at 13, a birdie at 17. Attaya Thitikul, the 19-year-old from Thailand, the rookie, posted 64. Good week for Lilia Vu. So despondent after her rookie year in 2019, making just 1 cut. She thought about quitting the game. She's back with a vengeance after winning on the Epson Tour, #1 on the money list last year. Lizette Salas is 65 as she takes with her 100 miles east of Mission Hills for the first major of the year. And congrats to Janie Jackson and the others who played well enough to earn a spot in next week's Chevron Championship. The situation is this: a par for Nana Kurtz-Madsen, and anything other than a hole out from Na Renan would give Madsen the victory. First, Anana Rukarn, yet another great week for the 22-year-old from Thailand.
169 yards, 6 iron in her hands, not going to win the golf tournament. Certainly doesn't want to do anything silly here. I think ideally Morgan just aim this center of the green.
Definitely, Jerry, right in the middle of that tent behind the green. The flag is just right of the tent. Good target, put it in position, make par, give yourself a look at birdie.
Exactly what she's done.
Yeah, don't say it yet, huh?
Firm hop. It'll head all the way back towards the back of the green. That'll be a slow breaking 2-putt.
There's our leader.
Just a slight side hill lie, 7 iron in hand, 162 yards. But a great lie. She found a little patch where it's downgrade, so much less resistance through impact when that's the case. So just has to put a good golf swing on this. It's the ideal club. Nice speed on it. She's done it time and time again today. That one's pulled. Still in line with the left side of the green. We're a long ways from the hole.
Yeah,
Stay on the green, you think?
it'll probably stay just on the edge, but that's definitely not a guaranteed 2-putt. That's we know Attaya Thitikul's been walking in and out of the media center, kind of paying attention to what's been going on. So she's watching that with a lot of interest.
On second.
147, taken pretty much right out of it. Right with it, actually. Let's go.
Well, she didn't have to make that one necessarily mathematically. She does, have to make that. Nana Kurtz-Madsen went one semester college to the University of South Carolina, left there in the fall to go to LETQ school, won on the Ladies European Tour, came to the U.S. on the Epson Tour, won 3 times, got the instant promotion to the LPGA Tour. She struggled a bit in those first few events out, had to go back to the qualifying tournament last summer. Went to the 72nd hole.
Right,
and Carnoustie with a chance, tied for the lead with Anna Nordquist.
This is the final group of the day.
Made double bogey. Said she wanted to put herself in that position one more time.
Come on in. And hopefully,
Well, she did put herself in that position after helping the Europeans win the Solheim Cup in September, and she won 2 weeks ago, and she's 2 putts away from going back-to-back.
And she talked about feeling, or caddy and now fiance talked about feeling a shift in her from hoping to be in contention a couple times a year and hoping to give yourself a chance to win to believing truly that she can win. And I think she's proven that. I mean, the way she handled the back 9 in Thailand and of course the playoff, little tumultuous there as it was, and more of the same here. She hasn't had her best stuff today. We've seen her pull quite a few shots, but this putter has really come in handy, and just leading the field in putting all week. Let's see if she can show it off here on the final hole.
With a win, she would be just the 2nd player in the last quarter century to make her first 2 wins in consecutive events. Attaya Thitikul won 3 straight back in May of 16. She would be the projected #1 in the race to the CME Globe 6 events into the season. Her good friend Nicole Brock-Estrup played in the Epson Tour event just about 80 miles away in Beaumont, California. Wanted to drive over and cheer on her friend whom she's known since age 14. Is watching on the edge of her seat. Anna tries to win in Thailand and then the Southern California coast in consecutive starts. How about the challenge of this putt? She needs 2 to win or less. She'll wait for Jarianana Rukarn.
Jerry had a little giggle with the public address announcer and pronunciation of her name. Not the easiest, and we've gotten used to it, and we're going to continue to get used to it. He was not even close. But as this is, pretty slow putt up the hill, gets a little quicker around the hole, just wants to leave something up there that she doesn't have to fret, and that's not easy to do. Really good speed on that. Line wasn't bad either.
Nana Kurtz-Madsen yesterday was waiting in the fairway while Narin An was making triple bogey, and she turned her back to the water. She didn't want to stare at her approach, which was so ominous. I'm not sure if she watched that putt of Pujari's or not, but she's now walking this one off. 2 putts or less to win it. Attaya Thitikul can do is wait.
Putt itself, for being lengthy, it's not the hardest one she's faced today. It's uphill initially, flattens out near the hole, very, very little break. This is all about speed and nerves.
chill in the air, temperatures in the low 60s. It's a must make to have any chance for Na Rin on.
Knowing that, I thought she might chip this, because it will bounce in this fringe. Not too badly.
A couple of made cuts for Na Rin, but this is her first chance on the big stage. Morgan, she'll remember this 18th hole this week.
She will. Certainly the 18th hole cost her playing it in 5 over the first 3 days, but she's shown a lot of poise, even coming back out today after her finish yesterday on 18 and still putting herself right in the mix. I think we'll see a good bit of her this year on top of leaderboards, near the top of leaderboards for sure.
Taking away the pressure of the moment, tell me about the putt itself for Nana Kurtz-Madsen. This to win.
Yeah, I don't see much in it at all. I mean, you're going to really have to study this to see whatever little break there is. Could just wiggle a little right. Obviously, there's the imperfections of a really nice looking green, and that's just the nature of the grass in this part of the country at this time of day. But she's made all but one from this distance and in all day long, and that was a short one at 16.
This to go back to back. First 3-putt of the week. And it's going to give us what would appear to be our first playoff here at Aviara since the first playing in 2013.
So she came right out of that putt, just started way right of where she was looking. Just a push there. She's been so solid with that club, made so many really solid strokes. And that one in this moment just wasn't what she needed.
Go back to the 18th for the playoff if there is one. Still a couple of feet left for Kurtz-Madsen. And Attaya Thitikul, whose 2-putt when she finished up her round of 64 was one to remember from 70+ feet. And Anna Rutkarn is to clinch a tie for 4th. Gathers herself for a short putt for bogey. Renan will putt first for her par. It's a 68 for Na Rin on, but it was bogey at the 17th. 3-putt bogey that knocked her out of a share of the lead. This to send us to overtime. A 3-putt bogey for Nana Kurtz-Madsen. And Attaya Thitikul, who has been finished for an hour, will warm up in the chill here in the Carlsbad afternoon. Like she did 2 weeks ago in the last event. Bogeyed the last hole to fall into a playoff. She won that one on the second extra hole with an eagle. And the 19-year-old rookie from Thailand, the rising phenom. Well, a day of great escapes for Nana Kurtz-Madsen. Finally caught up with her 3-putt bogey at the 18th with a 1-shot lead, drops her back into a tie with Attaya Thitikul, the 19-year-old from Thailand, and we are headed to a playoff. Welcome to Aviara and Morgan. It was for both of them long putts for birdie. Thitikul an hour before from 75 feet or so made a tough putt for par. Nana couldn't quite get it done. And do you give either an advantage here heading to the extra hole?
Well, I would give, if I had to give anybody an advantage, I'd give it to Nana, because one, she has just come from a playoff victory 2 weeks ago, so she's been in this position before, whereas Thitikul is not yet on the LPGA Tour, but she has plenty of experience under her belt winning tournaments. It is a little surprising to me that she never went to the range, that she kind of hung around the putting green here, hit a few chips, made some swings with a club, but she had an hour. I'm not quite sure what the decision was in her camp, but she is 19 years old. Maybe it's not quite, she doesn't get quite as stiff as, you know, I would at this point in a career, but we'll see. I wouldn't want to play the 18th hole cold. I'll put it that way. And
it is chilly. It looks beautiful out there. It's gorgeous, obviously, but the temperature's right around 60 degrees. How about Attaya Thitikul, the 19-year-old? She's won multiple tours around the world. She's just now joined the LPGA Tour. She's already in the top 15 in the Rolex rankings. Her best chance to win on the LPGA before she became a member was in Thailand last May. In fact, she hit an amazing second shot into the 18th green with Attaya Thitikul having already posted, missed a birdie putt that would have sent it to extra holes. But when you see what she did today, it's no surprise, is it? 64.
No, it's exceptionally impressive. I mean, she was chasing. She had nothing to lose, and she has that youthful confidence. She only needed 24 putts around this golf course today, and that really is the story of her round. And she's going to need, both players, if they're going to win, are going to need a clutch putt here to win this tournament.
Pajari Nadarukarn with some good wishes for her dear friend.
Anything you remember,
Attaya Thitikul headed for a play. Off they go to the 18th tee. Nana Kurtz-Madsen just made bogey here at the 18th, and an hour before Attaya Thitikul got to this 18th. She was 8 under on her round, had 75 feet or so for her first putt, came to this point, and then this for par.
That was definitely a must make, knowing where Nana was behind her with birdieable holes to play.
And then Nana Kurtz-Madsen had this to win her second straight event.
That just was right all the way.
That stroke or the Poana or a combo?
Probably a combo. You know, sure, that putter saved her on so many occasions today. I think back to the 10th hole, to the 13th hole, and just couldn't quite get it done there on 18, but she still has life, and I think that's an important thing for her to remind herself of in this moment, that she has not lost this tournament yet.
If they tie this 18th, they'll come back to the 18th. If they're still tied, they'll go to 10, and then to 17, and back to 18. Will go first. Again, it was just a couple of weeks ago that Nana Kurtz-Madsen bogeyed the 72nd hole, fell back into a playoff with Shiyu Lin, beat her on the second extra hole with an eagle. Kieran Stupples, who followed Attaya Thitikul, is going to follow her here in the playoff, and Jerry will stay close to Nana.
I'm sticking with the plan here, because I just listen to the driver off this tee shot. She did pull her tee shot left in regulation. Found a really nice lie down the left side.
This looks to be even only a hybrid here, Karen.
Yeah, I think she's making sure she gets one in the fairway this time around. You don't want to run the risk twice of getting a good lie.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Aggressive.
Flattish area.
Okay. Swing, bro.
Now Nana
Looks like the exact same club as regulation. Almost the identical one she hit in regulation. This one seemed to be hit a little harder, though.
Both appear to have clean lives. We'll see who goes first. Extra holes at Aviara. The afternoon sunshine in Carlsbad, California.
โดนบอสหมดแน่มีบอกให้ไปพรุ่งนี้ไม่เชื่อ
That's how these two have played the 18th hole this week, and that +1 from Kurtz Madsen just moments ago. Tugged her approach, understandably, with trouble on the right. 3-putted. Huge 2-putt for Attaya Thitikul. Posted 16 under. Let's see who goes first here.
I think it's going to be pretty close, Grant, between who goes first or just on the angles.
Doesn't matter. I'm good with both.
What's your number?
156.
We have the same.
Same? Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. You can go.
Sure.
Karen, in this position, you want to go first? You want to go second?
I want to go first.
Me too.
Yeah.
Player who hits it first usually has the opportunity to put more pressure on the opponent with a good shot.
Exactly. Give me the ball. Ball is below her feet, but it is on us. It's just an awkward stance here. Really have to pay attention to how this club's going through this ground. Wind into and off the left. This one drawing towards the pole.
Pressure on. Nearly dumped her approach in Attaya Thitikul.
I mean, did she ever say, give me the ball? Wow. I thought that was going in the hole. Oh my goodness. What a clutch shot in a pressure-packed moment.
Her second shot she's hit in the last hour and 15 minutes. Nearly holds it. Now Madsen.
8 yards closer than regulation, but going with the same club. This is 7-iron. Ball slightly above her feet. Much more comfortable line. That's Paul. Almost the same line as before.
Same shot.
And she'll have a nearly identical putt here, Jerry. She actually released all the way into the rough. Just that little bit of a tug that she's been fighting all day.
One more look at Attaya Thitikul's approach.
As Karen mentioned, an awkward lie, but to draw the ball into this hole location, she had to start it nearly over the water. So much for me saying she didn't need to go to the range. She should have gone to the range to warm up.
Another look.
I mean, just spectacular, very aggressive. Shots you'd see into 18 under any situation.
When she lost to Attaya Thitikul in Thailand last year, it was after a weather delay late. And she hit a laser into that 18th, just went over the green, caught a little bit of a bad break, in fact. Behind the green, pitched, and then just lipped out for what would have been a tying birdie. Now, she has hit a phenomenal approach from a phenom in the making, Attaya Thitikul. Well, this is match play, and Anna Kurtz-Madsen will start for the Europeans. Picked up a point and a half for them at Inverness. I don't know how makeable this is, but certainly a chance to put it up there close.
How's the lie down there, Jerry?
It's good. It's really good. She's going to land into a little bit of an upslope. If she'd have been paying attention earlier, fellow competitor Attaya putted it from right about here. And it is going to go a little right, but this is just all about judging the distance. The lie is certainly in her favor, and it can't always say that when you get into the primary rough around the greens here.
She gathered herself one more time. It's a great shot, but it might not be enough. We'll see.
That certainly puts the pressure back on Attaya Thitikul. That was very well judged, especially having been in a similar position and left herself with 6-7 feet in regulation, and knowing that she missed that putt, give herself, I mean, we don't know how much, I don't know if that's quite stress-free as any putt can be, but that's nearly a tap in there for Nana.
Here it is on the putter. The 19-year-old from Thailand, Attaya Thitikul, a make, and she's an LPGA winner. Tentative, wasn't it?
This looked like a misread. Looked like she hit a good stroke, but never played it quite high enough.
It has rolled past enough to make her wet her whistle.
Showing some rookie nerves here, Jerry. Or excuse me, Karen.
I was going to say just that little bit of water just to help keep things nice and smooth there when everything gets nice and dry, because you're a little bit of nerves, but you can't blame her.
See the point of Anna Kurtz-Madsen well inside Thitikul. Normally you'd say no problem, but let's see. Madsen, Jerry, for well, a chance to go to a second playoff hole for the second time in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I don't think she's stressing over this as much as she was the one in regulation to win. This is just more than a tap in.
A great escape for Nana Kurtz Madsen. They go back to the 18th for the second playoff hole. Deja vu here. Thitikul and Nana Kurtz Madsen make their way back to the 18th. Their tee shots were so close they literally had to ask each other who wants to go. Kurtz Madsen told Attaya Thitikul to go ahead.
17-18 and repeat 17-18 as needed.
Thitikul nearly ended it with her second shot. Nearly holed out but missed the putt for birdie. So 18 for a second time. If we play again, earlier I said we'd go to the 10th hole. It would be the 17th par 5. See if they get there. Stupples will again call Attaya Thitikul here. Extra hole.
I think she'd like a repeat of exactly what happened the first time around, except with the putt going in the hole. I mean, quite impressive really when you consider she'd been sitting around waiting for a little bit, hadn't hit balls, just did a few chips. So to come out here and strike the tee shot. That'll be fine.
She was watching that one eagerly, but leave her on an upslope with a decent angle towards that right hole location.
Should be same club here. 2 really good swings in regulation, the first playoff hole. Just wants to do that one more time.
Short and left. Careful.
Good. Sounded like a drop kick, similar to what she did yesterday on the 8th hole with that same hybrid. I think she'll have a shot from over there. You can really tell, Jerry, from our camera angle.
Not half side, bro? Your play. Good.
In play. First time she's missed the fairway at 18 in 6 tries.
I mean, this is just this shot that she is fighting today. This left, you can see she takes a divot before she actually hits the ball. Turns the club over. It almost looked like it caught cart path. It did catch cart path. Been informed that the ball is in play.
Dips behind one of those moguls. the second time in 2 weeks, Nana Kurtz-Madsen's headed to a playoff. She had the lead going into the final round in Thailand. This was at the second hole for birdie in the final round. And she was up by 4 with 4 to go, but a couple of bogeys from her, a couple of birdies from Shi-Yu Lin. They went to a second playoff hole, and Nana Kurtz-Madsen for eagle. Closed out Shi-Yu Lin and gave Denmark its first ever LPGA title. Now she's trying to do it again in the second playoff hole. I think she feels fortunate to even have a second shot here, such as it may be.
She talked about that first win, feeling like she had the monkey off of her back. She'd been so desperate to win. You put so much pressure on yourself. It's amazing, really, that she's been able to put herself in this position again with her dedication to her mental game. And we've seen, even though she's been a little bit squirrely with her golf swing today, she's still been able to hold tough, and that's due to all of the work she's done mentally, and a lot as well to the very mathematical, statistical approach that she and Nikki have been taking to this golf course and to her game in the last year or so.
Jerry, we saw her step over the ball as she would if she were going to hit it. It appears that at least her right foot will be on the cart path. Give her an opportunity for relief.
It will be. It's not
To
sitting
me,
very
I think
nicely.
we're going to end up going that way if we want to take it. Our point would probably establish in that vicinity, and then we have it there.
The grass which is dropping isn't very welcoming, but it's going to be dropped twice and likely bounce down. Unfortunately, it's only knee height now, so you can't guarantee that. If this was shoulder height, it should be dropping twice in place, and at knee height, it could get caught up and be an equally bad lie.
About how far is she, Jerry?
216 to the hole.
Wow.
Can we get
So
this
she's got to get a lot of
down,
club on
please?
this.
That's 50 yards more than before.
Nikki was shooting it with the distance measuring device, so don't know exactly. Attaya went first on the first extra hole. She's waiting now from the fairway. Quite surprising in my mind. She's going to risk putting that right foot on the cart path and hitting this shot. I would have taken the chance to see what the lie was going to be, because there's got to be some uncertainty at the transition of this golf swing right here with that right foot staying stable.
Almost looks like she's a little uncertain as she walks into it, because I mean 216 yards, you got to have some good footing in order to get it that far, and the back foot is typically the one to slip. Is the lie that good, Jerry?
No.
Water right.
We know what's left.
Bushes left where Renaud made trouble yesterday. Huge shot for Nana.
Didn't slip. I lost it in the sun quickly.
Just trying to keep that back foot steady. Got underneath it a little bit. I mean, she was able to keep that right foot relatively solid, but you have to be protecting it a little bit standing on the cart path. You know that there's a potential for it to slip, and you don't quite get through the ball the same way.
Now, after lengthy wait, second shot for Thitikul.
Can't get too ahead of yourself at this moment. Got to concentrate on hitting this shot. She has 170 to the hole, which is 14 yards longer than she had just a few minutes ago. Ball is on a slight upslope, but a bit below her feet. Just going down the left side, fading towards the middle of the green, staying on that. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, very smart play there. It'll still leave her with a tricky putt, but smart play considering the situation.
Realistically, the best that Nana Kurtz-Madsen could do would be a 5. She's in 2, out in 3. She'll be hitting a 4th.
She could chip in.
Certainly could. Thitikul is on in 2, the 19-year-old rookie. So trying to stay warm here as the sun begins to set on the California coast, and her star continues to rise. Now she walked up the 18th with 2 putts needed for her second straight win, but now Nana Kurtz-Madsen needs to conjure up something magical to stay in this playoff.
She's just been fighting her swing today. That swing on 18T almost just looked a little bit tired, which there's a lot that goes into a week like this, putting yourself in this position.
17 is a par 5, right?
Mentally exhausting just as much as physically. Not that it was necessarily a lapse of focus, but just a little bit tired.
She has seen a lot of Aviara in the last 24 hours or so. Penalty area at 8 yesterday for a double bogey in the water. Saved par at 10 today. Now the second playoff hole. She's in 2, dropping and about to hit a 4th.
I think no matter what happens here, Grant, I mean, this is what she talked to her sports psychologist about earlier today. No matter what happens, smile, you belong here. She's proving to herself and to all of us that she belongs here and has exceptional talent.
Confirming where it entered. Not sure there was complete agreement. Couldn't tell.
Marshall there, that sounded pretty sure. So go with all available information, make the best decision you can, and move on. As it is, not going to be a terrible lie there. It's rather short compared to some of the rough out here, but still. It's not an easy up and down. 2 or 3 different moguls, one of them running the spine of it about halfway there. That can throw it either way. Just getting it on the right line, on the right speed, and giving yourself a realistic chance at 5, and then crossing your fingers, it matters.
We'd never had a winner from Ireland until Leona Maguire, the 3rd event of the season. Live on championship at Crown Colony in Fort Myers. She got it done. We'd never had a winner from the LPGA Tour from Denmark until 2 weeks ago when Nana Kurtz-Madsen did it.
It would be very easy to get down on yourself at this point. She seems to just be focused on the task at hand. Well, that's why she's in this position. Having, or maybe had at this point, a chance to win, and her mind still alive.
She's still alive, but she definitely needs to come up with something nearly miraculous right here, Jerry.
Mm-hmm. Just landed on top of the hill. If she had landed into it, it would have been so much better.
Looked like a player trying to make it, not cozy it up. But now Thitikul has 2 putts to win. Same situation Kurtz-Madsen was in about 30 minutes ago.
So Interesting putt that she's facing. It's uphill to start with, and as it goes up the hill, it's going to break to the right. And as it gets on top of that slope, it's going to try and break that back down towards the left. Don't forget how good a 2 putts she made in regulation just to get into this position.
Three putts this week.
That almost looked like it went left on her, and she expected it to go to the right.
So now Nana Kurtz-Madsen will have a putt to put the pressure on Thitikul. Her caddy and boyfriend Nikki, fiance Nikki Hansen, consoling her, and then she saw the putt go awry. And it is going to be Nana first, correct?
Oh, yes, it is by a pretty good margin, but didn't even have the putt in her hand. It was still in the bag until that first putt of Thitikul's came to rest.
If it drops, Thitikul will have to make to win.
Stroke. It's not going to be enough for Nana, I don't believe, here today, but she knows it. But she gave it everything that she had up until the last moment here.
Thitikul now realizes at that moment she's got 2 putts again to win for the first time on the LPGA Tour. It's her rookie season. Attaya Thitikul is an LPGA winner in her 5th start of a rookie season. She comes from behind with a Sunday 64 to win a playoff at the JTBC Classic. Only 10 young women have ever been younger than Attaya Thitikul to win on the LPGA Tour. It didn't take long. 4 times a winner on the Ladies European Tour, twice last year as an 18-year-old. Now a month after turning 19, she wins the JTBC Classic presented by Barbasol, and our winner is with Amy Rogers.
Thanks, Grant. Attaya, you started the day 6 back of the lead, fired the low round of the week to force a playoff here. What was your game plan to start the day?
Well, I would say I'm not quite like get into like green. I mean, like I just focus on my game and then trying to do my best as I can. And yeah, it's turned out to be.
You're a rookie out here on the LPGA Tour, but you've won multiple times around the world. What does getting this first win here on the LPGA mean to you?
it's mean a lot. I mean, it's mean the world to me to have my managers here as well, and my caddy here, my best friends here, Pataris, and then I know all my parents back home watching me right now, and then all the Thai fans as well, my coach as well, that watching me. It's mean for all of us, not just me.
Well, congratulations on an astounding final round performance, and congratulations on becoming a first-time winner.
Thank you so much, guys.
The legend grows at the age of 19. Attaya Thitikul, in her 5th start, moves up to 4th in the race to the CME Globe. In the projected standings, Danielle Kang a win and a 2nd leading it. And Kurtz Madsen a win and this 2nd place finish this week. Well, it was the greatest 3-putt she'll ever have, probably. It was enough to get it done. There's Pajaria Nanalukarn, her good pal, celebrating with her. Both now LPGA winners. Well, it kept us on the edge of our seats all weekend, didn't it?
It was quite the dramatic finish, and what a round. The round of the week from Attaya Thitikul. I mean, we all knew it was only a matter of time before she'd win her first tournament. I didn't know that coming into today that it would end up being the JTBC Classic here at Aviara, but what a performance.
Golf Central comes your way next to wrap up a busy week. Men's and women's golf, and then the first major of the season, the final Chevron Championship at Mission Hills, beginning noon Eastern, Golf Channel Thursday. Thanks to everyone who made it happen. Our producer Jesse West, director Brian Hennessy, and their entire team. Morgan Pressel, Tom Abbott, Jerry Foltz, Karen Stupples, Amy Rogers, and all of us. I'm Grant Boone. Attaya Thitikul, a winner already on the LPGA Tour. Congratulations.